Good morning, everyone. Want to welcome you to the RETTI webinar series. Want to also welcome the Nemsa officials here on the call. So currently we have over 300 persons registered on our Zoom platform. So currently Zoom on our YouTube platform. So currently um, Zoom is sending out links, reminders to them. So we'll just give them 5 minutes. We'll just wait for 5 minutes, and whilst we wait for them to join us on the call, and then we'll start the webinar proper. So thank you once again for joining. So in the next call, and we'll start the webinar.
Thank you everyone for joining once again. We will start this call by 11:10, just to allow all the people join. Thank you very much once again. I greet you all.
Yes, we'll be starting the webinar shortly. So whilst we wait for a few minutes, you can kindly introduce yourself on the chat box. Um, Let us know if you're an installer, an engineering technician, where you're joining this webinar from. You can do that whilst we wait for, give a few minutes to allow others to join us on the call. So whilst we wait, you can do that on the chat bar, on the chat box. Introduce yourself, where you're joining us from. If you're an installer, a technician, solar engineer, or an entrepreneur, just do that on the chat box before we start the webinar shortly. Thank you once again. Good morning, everyone, once again, and thank you for those of us that are introducing ourselves already on the chat bar. You're highly welcome. So once again, welcome to the RETTI webinar series. I'd like to welcome each and every one of us, each and every one of you for making our time on joining us on this call. I also want to welcome the Nemsa officials here with us on the call today. My name is Engineer Solomon Uche, the technical admin and alumni coordinator at RETTI. So before we start the call, our topic of discussion today, we'll be looking at the Nemsa solar certification. That's what we are going to be discussing on the call today. And I want to encourage us to have our writing materials close by, our jotters and our biros close by with us. And I also want to let us know please kindly mute yourself, raise your hand when you want to ask a question, or you can as well also put it on the chat box during the question and answer section. So taking us further on this call, I want to introduce our host, the CEO and founder of the Renewable Energy Technology Training Institute, also alumni of the Obama Scholar Foundation. I want to welcome with a warm welcome. I want to welcome our CEO, Miss Glory Ogwebu. She is the host of this webinar. Welcome on the call today, Miss Glory Ogwebu. Good morning, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My apologies. I joined with two devices. Thank you very much to you all today for joining our call. I just want to do a slight introduction of what we're here for today, and so that we can go directly into what we're here for. The Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, who are the regulators for electrical and solar safety, released the NEMSA Solar Installer and Electrical Installation Certification way back in 2015. A couple of years later, it appeared, details of electrical safety appeared again on the Electricity Act of 2023. Now, this certification has been in existence for a long time. Unfortunately, today, the solar installation business has become like a skill that many people are doing, and they are creating jobs. So it's a good skill. They're creating jobs, they're hiring people, they are helping to promote electricity access. And so as a result of that, there's been also a lot of different types of people that are joining the industry. Please, can you confirm that? Can you all hear me properly, please? Let me just be sure.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. So, as a result of this, there has been a lot of people who have joined the industry without proper training. This has led to failed solar installations. This has led to mistakes and errors happening on site that has caused damage, injury, that has caused injury to people and damage to properties. You all have also seen it sometimes on the internet. Apart from what you see on the internet, we at RETTI, we have also seen a lot of things like this, which is why we trained people to get the right skill. And so the Nemsa did a very important thing by, updating again their Nemsa Electrical and Solar Safety Act, and they released an update on 22nd April of 2026. This particular update was very interesting because it sent kind of like a panic on the solar installer body. There's a lot of young people, especially we train these people at RETTI as well, who are talented, who do not want to do crime, who do not want to steal. And so they have found the solar scale as a good business that they can do. We've trained some of them at RETTI. Many of them are doing well. They are intentional. They are husbands. They are people's fathers. But again, there are other people as well who are really spoiling the name of this industry. Nemsa did an important thing by highlighting again the importance of safety in their recently released PDF document on 22nd April. This is the reason why we're here today. Many of our RETTI community expressed panic, and then the outside, installers, business owners expressed a panic, thinking that the government wanted to target and attack their business. When we did our first two webinars, we explained to the people that the government is not trying to attack your business. This is the reason why the government is doing what it's doing. There is a reason why some nations are the way they are. It's because of proper regulation and policy. And the faster we can adopt policies in our nation and begin to do these things and begin to keep these things, we will get that Nigeria that we pray for. So, but in the policy that Nemsa has released, there are in fact some things that need explanation. In our last webinar, we received 316 total people. The first call that we did had 40 people from the RETTI alumni. The second one had 276 people from the larger public. So this tells me something. People are really interested in following law, and that really made me happy because it means that Nigerians are not really averse to law and order. They want to know what they can do if it is clearly explained to them. And this is the purpose of our webinar, to clearly present to you what this Nemsa certification means, where you fit in, and then if you feel like you don't fit in anywhere, because there are some people who do not fit in anywhere, the Nemsa is here today to respond to you. The RETTI initiative has been advocating as well about this with the Nemsa so that we can ensure that young people like yourselves who are already leading businesses and in the solar space and advocating for this and creating jobs, having partnerships with China and a lot of the other solar manufacturers. You all are here. Some of you are not qualified to receive a certification because you don't quite see yourself there. So that's why we have advocated and brought the Nemsa here today. First of all, I'd like to commend the Nigerian Electricity Management Safety Agency. I hope I got that right. I'm so sorry for the concern that they have shown to this. I want to say that I'm really happy that in Nigeria today, the government can come and talk to the people that they have made a policy for. This does not happen everywhere and every time. So it does show that this government is very intentional for the people that they have made a policy for, and that they are very compassionate towards these people they've made a policy for. That's why they're here today. Permit me to say, not a lot of government people like to show up to the people, but they are here today. This tells me a lot of things. I'm so happy, and I have a lot of belief and faith in Nigeria that we're heading somewhere, right? So today, I'm very excited that the MD and CEO of the Nemsa is here with us on the call today. With us on the call today again is the engineer John Obayemi as well, the head of certification. On the call as well today with us is engineer Haruna, the chief inspectorate of the Nemsa. This is the whole leadership of the Nemsa that are here today to respond to the questions and the concerns that you've raised. We presented to Nemsa 50 questions that you asked us in the last two webinars. We summarized these 50 questions to 22 questions because of the repetition, a lot of the repetitions in the questions. And Nemsa said, no, permit us to come and talk to these people. We want to answer them. We want to show them that we care. We want to show them that this is why we made this law, and this is the reason why it's like this. This is the reason why this one has been written like this. This is the reason why this one has been written like this. And you will find out that they didn't do it because they want to chase people away from the sector, like some people have thought. So I'm very excited today to welcome you all. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you so much. All protocols observed. the way they say it in politics, I'm sorry, to all the government representatives that are here with us. I am seeing all of your introductions on the chat as well. A lot of installers, thank you. Thank you for joining. We made an advocacy about this call on TikTok. A lot of the younger TikTok guys as well are here. We are trying to talk about the importance of safe solar installation. The TikTok guys, you guys need to listen to this, but I'm happy. I thank you. I thank you for being here. I thank you for looking for a trade, for looking for a skill, for doing a legit business, for not doing crime. And today you're here because you want to hear from the regulator how you can do your business well. I'm so proud to be Nigerian because Nigerians are showing up and wanting to do the right thing. Nigerians are not running away from the government. Nigerians are here to face the government, to hear from them. They are not showing any fear. It's amazing. We're making history here today with this meeting. So thank you once again very much for being here. I think I'll hand it over now to the moderator to tell me the next thing to do. I am not looking at the agenda at the moment. Thank you.
Yes, so the next on the agenda is to invite the keynote speaker for today's talk.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Can you say that again?
Yeah, so the next on the agenda that we have the MD and CEO of Nemsa.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So, everyone, thank you once again for being here. We go right and next into the meeting of the day. And I wonder if Engineer Abbas Mustafa is on this call. So, please, are you on this call so that you can introduce the MD? Engineer Abba Mustafa, are you on the call now? Trying to check.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, my name is Engineer Abba Mustafa from the Renewable Energy Services Department. So the MD was called on the official assignment this morning, but will be ably represented by the GM Metering Services Engineer Gideon Fatumbi.
All right, by all means, thank you very much. Please, can you now kindly introduce Engineer Williams Obayemi, or can we just call him up to come, or do you want to like read out a bio or anything like that? Okay, I think we can just, I think we can go on. I think we can now call on
General Manager. Engineer Gideon is the General Manager, Metering and Laboratory Services in Nemsa. So he will be the one to ably represent the MD. So he'll take over shortly.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Greeting from my MD and Chief Electrical Inspector of the Federation. He was on avoidable absence because of exigency of the job. But notwithstanding, I'll read through his keynote address because he was passionate about this meeting, but he was not in. But all the lieutenants are all available to attend to all issues that will be raised during the meeting. So once again, good morning, everybody. So what I want to do is I'll read through the keynote address by the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Electricity Management Service Agency, and Chief Electrical Inspector of the Federation, Engineer Olusegun Adeshayo, FNS, on the occasion of the RETTI and Nemsa public webinar on solar installation personnel certification, responding to questions from solar installation personnel communities. Distinguished participants, the founders and Chief Executive Officer of Renewable Energy Technology Training Institute, this is Gloria, officials of RETTI, members of the Renewable Energy industry, solar installation personnel, and practitioners joining us from across Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to address this important gathering of renewable energy professionals, solar installation personnel, business owners, trainers, and other critical stakeholders in Nigerian rapid growing solar energy sector. At the onset, I wish to sincerely appreciate Renewable Energy Technology Training Institute for organizing this timely and strategic webinar and for their commitment to advancing professionalism, competency, and regulatory compliance within Nigerian renewable energy ecosystem. Today's engagement is particularly significant because it reflects a shared commitment between government and between government and industry to build a safer, more competent, and more sustainable solar energy workforce for our nation. As many of you are aware, Nigeria Electricity Management Service Agency, Nemsa, as the statutory technical regulator responsible for enforcing technical standards and ensuring safety in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, has intensified efforts towards implementing a structured renewable energy installation personnel certification scheme. This initiative is not mainly a regulatory requirement, but it is a national imperative. The rapid growth of solar energy deployment across Nigeria presents enormous opportunity for energy access, economic empowerment, and environment sustainability. However, it also brings increased responsibility to ensure that installations are executed safely, professionally, and in accordance with approved technical standards and codes. Unsafe or poorly executed solar installation can result in electrical hazards, equipment failure, fire outbreaks, economic losses, and loss of public confidence in renewable energy system. It is therefore essential that practitioners operating within this space possess the required competency and are formally recognized through a credible certification framework. The certification scheme introduced by Nemsa is designed to align Nigeria's renewable energy workforce with global quality standard and international best practice. For now, Nemsa is accredited under the standard IEC 17024 2017 to make sure that any certification given by Nemsa is globally recognized. So that means the competence certification you obtain from Nemsa can be used anywhere globally. I understand that many installation personnel and businesses have questions regarding the implementation of this scheme. Questions about eligibility, experience requirement, compliance pathways, timelines, and how existing practitioners can transition smoothly into the formal certification scheme. Let me assure you that Nemsa hears your concern. Our goal is not to create barriers for hardworking professionals. Our objective is to build an inclusive and practical certification framework that recognizes existing experience, accommodates varying skills level, supports practitioners in achieving full compliance. To all solar installation personnel listening today, I encourage you to view certification not as a burden, but as an investment in your professional future. Certification enhance your credibility, expand your opportunity, and position you as a trust contributor to Nigeria energy transition, which also means traceability is possible at every given time. Also, ensure that all solar PV system installations carried out by you are subjected to Nemsa statutory inspection, testing, and certification before they are put to use for safety of lives and property. Nigeria's renewable energy future depends not only on technology, but on the competency, ethics, and professionalism of those who install and maintain these systems. Nemsa remains fully committed to working with all stakeholders to ensure that this transition is orderly, inclusive, and beneficial to the entire industry. I encourage everyone to actively participate in today's discussion, ask questions, and seek clarification. Our certification unit will also provide technical guidance on implementation pathways and respond directly to many of the practical concerns raised by the community. Once again, I commend RETTI for facilitating this important engagement and for its dedication to building capacity in the renewable energy sector. Together, let us build a safer, stronger, and more professional renewable energy workforce for Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Wow. Thank you very much for that very assuring speech. And to the audience, I mean, did you hear that? To all our installers that are joining, the government have just reiterated their commitment to what is going on here today. They have mentioned to us today the reason why they did what they did, the importance of your own compliance, and that they are open to helping you comply. They are open to answer the questions that you have and do what it really takes to ensure that you will become a certified solar installer. Of course, if you meet the requirements, but also that's why we're here. So you can ask those questions that are confusing you about meeting the requirements. Our goal as RETTI as well is to support you as much as possible and simplify all of these things. We are available 24/7 to help and answer all the questions I have, direct you to what you need to do so that we can have safe solar installations. That's really the goal of the whole thing. Thank you very much once again, Engineer Gideon. We appreciate your speech. Thank you once again to all of the Nemsa representatives that are on the call. I think we'll go to the next course of action. Engineer Solomon, can you tell me what is the next course of action? Thank you.
Thank you once again, Engineer Gideon. The next line on the agenda is the question and answer section, answered by Engineer Haruna and Engineer John.
All right. Thank you very much for that reminder. So please permit me to call up now Engineer John Obayemi, the head of certification at the Nemsa. At NEMS, of course, which is the regulator for electrical and solar installation safety for our country. And also Engineer Haruna, who is the Chief Inspectorate for the NEMSA regulator in our country. So Engineer John Obayemi, we want to call you up now, but I don't know how this will be done. Will you take some questions firstly before Engineer Haruna then comes up and takes some questions? please let me know how we will do it, sir.
Let me come in there. You can put up all your questions. Everybody's on ground, and we have all the team of engineers. Then as the question flow in, we'll pick it one after the other. So there is no issue about that. So the question can start coming in, then we'll be responding accordingly. But I think the most important is, I think the members of Nemsa, I don't know if they'll be able to unmute their audio so that it will be easy for us to come in as to respond to your question accordingly.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Yes, the question and answers will come. That's not the one I mean. The Nemsa has planned a response to 22 questions that we sent. So, Engineer John, are you on the call? I think you were supposed to answer some of the questions. Or is there a different plan? There were some questions you and your team worked on, and then after that, then the crowd can ask their questions. Engineer John, please let me know if that's what we're still doing today.
Okay. Your plan now is we should answer those questions you send in first before we proceed ahead. That's what it means?
Oh, it's not. Yeah, that's the plan. That was the plan of the meeting from Nemsa.
Okay.
But if you want to do it differently, that's also okay. We sent some questions, and I'm aware that Nemsa prepared answer to that. I was on the call with Mr. John over the weekend, Engineer Abba as well. So can you tell me if that's what we're still doing, or should the crowd just ask their questions? But we were working with 22 questions that you were supposed to respond to. Engineer Abba, please.
So the 22 questions that was forwarded to us will be attended to now and accordingly. So basically, I will start with some of the questions, and the other team members will join accordingly. I think one of the questions is I just finished training. I have no 3 years experience yet. What do I do now? Our response is this, as stated in the Nemsa competency certification scheme. I think in our last meeting, we advised everybody to go to Nemsa site to download the certification scheme. I don't know if that has been done. Well, if some people are just hearing this for the first time, we have certification scheme on our website. It would be nice, go download it, and a lot of informations that you are asking now will be answered automatically. So as stated in Nemsa competency certification scheme, completion of a renewable energy training program from a reputable training institute shall count as an added advantage towards obtaining the renewable energy certification, where a candidate meets the basic education requirement, that's either WIDE, MBT, or OND, and has completed such training. Such candidates shall be permitted to apply for Nemsa certification under the Renewable Energy Category 2 scheme. So I don't know, should we have interaction on each of the questions, or we should just respond?
Sorry, thank you so much for shedding light on that first question, sir. It was supposed to be interactive, but I just got a message from Engineer John that he cannot speak. So ICT, can you please unmute Engineer John Obajimi so that he can work with Engineer Gideon to respond to the questions. Engineer John Obajimi. Please, the Nemsa representatives on the call, kindly put Nemsa in the bracket so that the ICT can recognize you and unmute you. That was why he couldn't speak. So ICT, his name here is John Obajimi. Whilst we're waiting for that, thank you very much, Engineer Gideon. There are other questions. I think Engineer John was supposed to respond to some of them and things like that. Are we able to have Engineer John now?
No,
Mr.
there is
Samuel,
no problem attaching question to anybody. We just respond to it accordingly. The question is not tagged to anybody. So that's why I'm asking. The first question has been answered. Do we make it interactive so that we'll go to the second question?
Yes. Go to the second question, sir.
Okay.
Go to the second question.
The second question reads, can 6 months of structured internship at an accredited institution count towards the 3 years requirement? Nemsa response is, as stated earlier, completion of a training program from a reputable training institute shall count as an added advantage towards obtaining Nemsa certification, where the candidate meets the basic education requirements stipulated for the category. Then proceeding to question 3, how do we stop people from faking projects document to meet the experience requirement? Possession of education, this Nemsa's response, possession of educational training and project documents constitute a minimum requirement to qualify for the application. To formally obtain Nemsa certification, each candidate must take a written exam and undergo an oral interview before a constituted certification panel, where they must convincingly display their technical skills and ability to prove that their documented experience. Nemsa certification panel are very robust, with highly experienced electrical engineers from various relevant organizations and agencies. They can easily differentiate between the real or fake project document via the oral interview process. So you can see that there is a lot of control. Submitting documents, experience document is just minute part of the whole certification process. There are a lot of other things that follow. Going to question 4. What about skilled electricians and installation personnel who cannot read or write formal English? Our response is, basic formal education is vital for electrical installation work, both conventional and renewable energy. The ability to read circuit diagrams, carry out load audit, read and understand external regulations, standards, and code are mandatory skills in electrical installation works. Prospective practitioners are hence advised to further their education and obtain requisite certification required by the industry. Skilled electricians and installation personnel who cannot read or write shall carry out electrical installation works under the supervision of a Nemsa certified practitioner. I hope that is clear. And I think we are taking notes. Maybe later we'll discuss it. So question 5, can a category 2 technicians upgrade to category 1 after 5 years without an engineering degree? The scope of work, Nemsa response, the scope of work for category 1 includes the design and construction of complex systems that require possession of an engineering degree. Hence, category 2 installation personnel must acquire the requisite engineering degree and knowledge to qualify for category 1. So question 6, is category 1 completely closed to anyone without formal engineering degree? Our answer is yes. A relevant engineering/technical degree in electrical and electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, physics, electronics, instrument.
Oh, I think we lost him. Can everyone hear me? I think we lost him,
Yeah.
or is it my internet? Oh,
So
we lost you a little bit, sir. Engineer
okay,
Gideon.
let me repeat
The
question
last thing
6.
said. Okay, yeah.
Okay, is category 1 completely closed to anyone without a formal engineering degree? Our response is yes. A relevant engineering technical degree in electrical, electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, physics, electronics, instrumentation, as stipulated in the certification scheme, is mandatory requirement to carry out complex electrical engineering work. So you can see why I said we need to download our certification scheme from Nemsa website, because most of these questions have been well captured. So we're going to question 7. Can a certified PV design and installation graduate qualify for category 1? No, a training certificate alone will not form a basic to qualify for category 1. A relevant engineering technical degree form part of the minimum requirement. So we can see that the training we do is an added advantage for us to apply for that category. So for question 8, if the certified lead engineer is not on site, does the corporate certificate still protect the team? I will invite Engineer Momo to respond to that.
Yes, good morning, everybody. And thanks again for being part of this discussion session. Very enlightening, and it's good that we interact more like this for the benefit of all of us and for the industry that we're building. Now, for the question, it's very important. We need to understand what we mean by certified lead engineer. Because lead engineer, well, is supposed to be he partook in the design and the construction of that installation, which means that the history of that project, he has it as his beck and call. So he's in a position to tell you the reasons why that construction was carried out, why it was carried out, in the manner it was carried out, the materials that were used, in a position to defend those installations. And that's why it's called the lead engineer. So it's always an issue when you go for an inspection and the lead engineer is not on site, because there are questions you are going to ask, like I said, that is in the best position to give you answers to those questions. So no, if the lead engineer is not on site, it becomes an issue for for the inspection. And so it's very, very, very important. So for every installation that you are doing, and Nemsa needs to inspect, please, your lead engineer, your certified engineer must be around to show us around the project, so that all questions that we'll be asking will get adequate answers, so that when we're taking a decision, we're taking it based on what we have discussed, what we have found on the inspection. We have situations where when you begin to ask questions, the person on ground cannot answer some of the questions you're asking. And that will now affect the inspection that is being going on. Or sometimes you're asking a question and he has to now call the engineer. He tells you that actually I'm not the lead person. He has to take time now to find out from the person who did the project during the inspection exercise. It means that for me, that's a minus already for that person. If you have to begin to call somebody else to get information. And so it's very important that the lead engineer must be on site to answer all the questions that will be asked, because he's the one who directed, planned, designed, did the construction work on that installation. I hope that answers the question. So we'll go on to the next question. Question 9. It's the question 9. What happens to a company's corporate certification when the certified engineer leaves? Okay, very, very interesting. We've always said the certified engineer of the company is the one who actually sat for the exam. So it is his credentials that was used to stand for the company. And his passport photograph is what's represented in that certificate. So it's the person that is known that is carrying the company. It means that if anything happens in terms of poor construction, use of sustainable materials on that project, that company engineer is one of the head responsible, because he's put out his credentials to say, yes, he's competent enough, I know what I'm doing, and if my company does anything wrong that's not in line with regulations, I will take responsibility. That's why I'm here. And so he's standing for the project. So definitely, once he leaves that company, definitely that the certificate for that company ceases to exist, because you now need to get somebody again who is competent, that can stand in for that person. And the person has to also show to us that he's competent to take over the place of that person before that certificate will be used. So definitely, yes, once he leaves, that certificate stops to exist. You need to bring another engineer to replace, to stand in for the company and go through the process of certification, the interview, and all that, so that when we are done, we can now say, yes, you have a competent person who has taken over, who is now in charge. So once the person leaves, definitely that certificate ceases to exist until you bring in somebody else who will now sit for the company. The next question: can a solar company owner register as their own lead engineer for corporate certification? Yes, the owner of the company, yes, can register for the company, provided the criteria that has been listed. He has to fall in to those criteria. He must be qualified. All the must have certification. He must be competent, which means he will have to come sit for the exam also. All the other things must stand out right. He has the qualification, the years of experience, and so he comes for the exam. He passes the exam, yes. Because the whole idea is, for corporate, all we want is the person representing the company must be competent and must show that he's competent to do this job. That's all we're asking for. So if you're the owner of the company and you know that you are competent, you want to stand for the company, fine, no problem. Stand for your company. You can do that once you have the prerequisite qualification and all that. Because we need to understand, I think there's a question that we'll ask on why the issue of company registration. We will explain that also, the issue of why we allow room for company registration. The next question: a CEO with PV training and 5 years experience, but only contract staff, how do they certify? Okay, this question was kind of tricky, because it took us time to try and understand what the person was trying to say. And so our answer is based on our understanding of what the person has put here. If this is not what the person actually meant, we'll get clarification on it.
Sir, please, sorry, can you repeat? Which question was that?
Okay, number 11, a CEO with PV training and 5 years experience, but only contract staff, how do they certify?
Okay, so respond to it, and then if it's not the one, then we will finalize.
Okay, so for us, Nemsa does not stipulate contractual terms between organization and their staff. Nemsa does not do that. It's between the organization and your staff. Your contractual terms doesn't involve Nemsa. But to represent an organization for the certification, the staff must come with a valid ID card, amongst other documentation, because it must show to us that I'm actually a staff of this company. You must show to us, prove that you're a staff of the company before you can sit for the exam. For us, like I said, that's how we understand the question, and that's how we answered it. So I hope if it's not in line, let us know.
Yes, let me just add quickly to that. I remember that you engineers called me regarding that question. I think the person was trying to talk about if they did not have full-time employees but work with contract staff one-off. So when they have projects, they will invite a contract staff, the person will install and then leave. So that's what they mean. But I think you already answered it by saying whoever it is that comes in will need to be certified as well. They want to know if, since they don't have employees that are full-time and they just use contract staff, if those people need to be certified. But I think the answer is clear.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but it's like I said, the contractual agreement between you and the staff is not our issue. But why we urge you to be careful when you are getting staff from outside, because you see there is what you call what's what I want to use now. There is this you know, when you have if you are a staff of a company, there's an attachment you have than when you're a contract staff. You know, so if I'm a staff of that company and I'm doing a project for that company, I know this is my company. So if anything goes wrong, I will be affected. So I will ensure that that project meets all standards and regulation, because I know if anything goes wrong, I'll be affected. But if I'm a contract staff, I don't have anything with the company. I'm just nothing at stake. Thank you. I don't have anything at stake. So I'll just come, do what I want to do, and Nemsa, because of that, Nemsa can come and see your certificate of that company. Because if you get somebody who doesn't, because he has nothing at stake, he does a job for you that doesn't make sense, and Nemsa comes and says, no, this company, this your job is bad, we're going to revoke your certificate. You have no other person to blame than yourself. You know, so this, you want to look at the whole issues from both ends before you dabble into it. So be careful so that you don't get yourself in the deep end in trying to sort out other issues. Okay, so our next question, number 12. For corporate certification, who submits the application, the CEO or the lead engineer himself? Now, for corporate certification, who submits the application, the CEO or the lead engineer? Now, the CEO, engineer or company executive may submit the application, because it's just a submission of the application. It's a request for for the application. It's a request. So yes, the engineer can submit, the CEO can submit. But when it comes to the exam itself, for the exam, only the engineer can attend and can sit for the exam. So for submission, anybody can submit. Because once you submit, all we do is your submission is documentation. So once you submit your documents, all we do at the back end is just to ensure that the documentations are complete in line with what we're asking for. Once they are complete, then we know that it's remaining for the exam itself. And so once it's done, once we notify you for the exam, I mean, we don't want to know who the CEO is. It's the engineer whose documents are submitted that we want to see. So if the CEO comes, well, he's coming to give support. If he doesn't come, no difference. But the engineer who's sitting for the exam is the one we want to deal with, because as far as we're concerned, is one who will determine whether the company will get the certificate or not. And so the engineer is one that we're interested in. So, but anybody can submit, go through the submission process. No problem with that. The next question. If a company has 50 engineers with 10 years experience, does corporate certificate cover all of them, or must each certify individually? Now, 50 engineers, 10 years experience. You know, there are people who have 10 years experience. There are some who have 15, 20 years experience. But the man with 10 years experience is more knowledgeable on the job than those with 20 years experience. So the years of experience does not determine your competency. It is when you come and you show us a level of competency. And so each person must sit for the exam. We must know a level of competency for each person. You must have your own certificate. It's not the number that matters. It is what you have upstairs that shows that you can actually deliver when time comes on that we are concerned about. So it's not about the years of experience. We are saying, okay, yes, you have 10 years. Okay, come and sit down for the exam. Show us. Once you have it, there's no problem. So
even professors sitting for the exam.
Yes, we had profs, lecturers, senior lecturers, professors from universities who have sat down for exams and they could not pass the exams. And they have somebody who has like 5 years, who has been on the field for 5, 10 years, doing better than a professor. So it's not a matter of the years. You must come and show us what you have for us to believe that you have that. So yes, each person must have his own certification to show that yes, I am good at what I do. This is what I'm saying. This show you that validating my own systems that cannot fit all protective devices. How do the 17 safety rules apply to small solar homes that cannot fit all protective devices? When we say the 17 safety guidelines that we referred in the publication, is simply just telling you that the protection scheme, because we brought up these 17 rules are the most important critical part of the project that we brought out and published for us to see the implication. So it's not about whether the installation is large or is small. we're talking about the protection, the safety use of the installation. That's what we're talking about. So the site installation does not change when it comes to safety and protection. So yes, it applies to every installation. It applies to every installation because it's safety. We want to ensure that when it is commissioned for use, the owner or the person who's going to use it will use it safely. And then the installation will be reliable and it will serve the person for the duration it has been designed to serve the person. So the safety rules is not like you say for this installation, 5 guidelines, for this one, 10 guidelines. No, it applies for all solar installations. All. There's no difference from any of them. It applies for all. Please, it's very, very important. We must understand that. And so that's what we're talking about competence. So we must understand when we're talking about some safety rules, the person asking this question should now begin to check himself. Because if you understand, if you go to the safety rules, the guidelines that were put down there, you will see that each one is important for any solution that you are going to carry out. The next question, are Nemsa inspectors practically trained in solar or only in general electrical work, or are they only engineers? Yes. Nemsa inspectors. Yeah, let me see on. The question says, are Nemsa inspectors practically trained in solar or only in general electrical work, or are they only engineers? Now, Nemsa has a pool of engineers. You see, in this discussion session that we're having, now you'll get to meet the engineers. My senior colleagues, he started the discussion. I'm now talking with you. Somebody else will also take over also and join the conversation. So we have a pool of engineers. We have a variety, a wide expanse of knowledge, both for conventional and both for solar. We cover all, we have the competency for all. We have been trained for, that's why we're inspectors. That is why we're inspectors. We have been trained in the different categories of installations. Yes, but some we have some who have been deployed to solar, some are deployed to electrical, and some are distribution, some are transmission, some are generation. So we cover all installations, and that's when Nemsa and have been trained. Practically, yes, we have been trained practically, and we cover all types of installations.
I just want to chip in, even in metering. So metering, chemicals, laboratories, Nemsa is more like a one-stop shop where you get all your enforcement activities done. So it's a one-stop shop where all your enforcement in terms of standards, regulation, codes are handled. So we have full and experienced inspector cut across. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, will certified installation personnel now charge more because of annual license renewal costs? Your fees that you are charging are promotional fees. Nemsa has no hand in what you are going to charge your clients. Nemsa has his own fee that he charges you for the installation that you have done. That's what concerns Nemsa. Now, whenever I do your quotation and you're applying, give your quotation to your client, that is between you and your client. It is based on your professionalism, your knowledge that you charge your client for the job you're going to do. Nemsa will not come and tell you, no, don't charge this amount, don't charge. That's not our own, it's not within our purview. Our concern is for your inspection, when you invite us, we say this is the fee for this inspection. You pay Nemsa fees and we'll go ahead and do our inspection. What is between you and your client, Nemsa cannot come in between your client and fix any fee because it is your, they are going to pay for your knowledge. They are paying for your knowledge. So whatever you're charging the person is you who will determine what you're going to charge. Nemsa doesn't come into that. We cannot enforce and say, no, you can't charge your people. No, that's not part of our responsibilities. Next question. The certification fees are high for small operators. Is there a payment plan or subsidy? Certification fees are high for small operators. Is there a payment plan or subsidy? Nemsa company certification fees are already highly subsidized. I'm telling you, highly subsidized by government because if you're in the industry, you should know that anything concerning government, there's always subsidy. Anything concerning anything government is doing, it's always subsidized, always. Because if it's not government, if it's a private entity, I'm telling you, you know that you're going to pay more. But everything involving government is subsidized already. Government always takes care. If you, I mean, we're all in the field. We can go out and check. Anything government is doing is subsidized. So there's nothing that Nemsa can do about that already, because you're already subsidized already. So we cannot now go be subsidized what has been subsidized again. Or maybe you want us to increase it again, then subsidize it again to a level that we can understand. But really, the fees are already subsidized. Anything government is subsidized already. And I can tell you for a fact that yes, it is highly subsidized. Given the kind of work we do, you realize that it's highly subsidized. And then retired PhD engineers get exam and certification exemptions. Can experienced private sector engineers get the same too? Retired PhD engineers get exam and certification exemptions. Can experienced private sector engineers get the same too? Please, I think we need to understand that retired PhD engineers, they not get certification exemptions. I don't know where the person got this idea from. No, our exams are in two stages. There's written exam and there's the oral exam. And so the only exemption they get is from the written exam, but they must take the exam. They appear, they do the exam, they appear for the oral exam. They must appear for the exam. There's no exemption to say, don't come for exam. No, you must appear, because like I said, it's a competency test. We must still test you to say, okay, yes. The difference of what we are trying to understand is the exemption for the written exam are for senior retired engineers of relevant power sector organizations. So that's not limited to just say PACN. If you have worked in the power sector, any in the power sector, this also affects you, and it's for senior retired personnel from these power sector organizations that are directly connected with the Nigerian supply industry. It's not just anybody. And so it's simply what we're doing is, okay, you have been in the industry for 35 years. You are retiring. It means that you have been hands-on on the industry. So I give you that exemption to say, okay, you don't need to write exam, but you still have to come. We want to test you to still find out the hands-on that you have. Show us, prove to us that you really had that hands-on while you were there for those 35 years. And that's what we do for them. So nobody's exempted for the exam. They must still show their competency that they've learned something. And if they come for the oral exam, if they don't show that they know the job, they won't get a certificate. They won't. Because we are saying it is practical. You must show us that, yes, you understand this thing. If not, you won't get. But the only exemption is for them is, yes, because they've done 35 years working in the industry. That's why I give that exemption for not to write. But they will still come for the oral. We'll ask them questions on the oral to be sure that they actually have that knowledge. And if they don't, no way, they won't get it. Next question. When does enforcement officially begin? And will there be a stakeholder consultation first? Most of us are just hearing this. Wow, interesting. When does enforcement officially begin? And will there be a stakeholder consultation first? It's surprising because if you have been in the industry and you've heard of Nemsa, Nemsa is not a new organization. Nemsa has been in existence since 2015. Nemsa has been in existence since 2015, and we have been doing this same work of enforcement of technical standards and regulation in the power industry. And do not forget that before this function was transferred to Nemsa, it was being carried out under the Federal Ministry of Power, a department known as EIS, the Electrical Inspectorate Services Department. This same function was initially done in the ministry. It was a department in the ministry that was carrying out this function under the ministry. And but because of bureaucracy, the agency was created so that we can fast track and deal with issues faster rather than ministry bureaucracy. So this function was transferred to Nemsa in 2015, and Nemsa continued from where the ministry stopped. So it's not like it's something new. Nemsa continues from where the ministry has been doing it for years, where they stopped. And that's where we are today. But the reason why this is coming up now, because there is high-level deployment of renewable energy nationwide right now. Because I'll call it an explosion because of the challenge in power supply. Now everybody is into renewable. It's now become an alternative source. And so the rate of deployment is increasing. And so there's a need for us to check that rate. We must make sure that as it's increasing, reliability, the safety, and ensuring that standard construction practice and standard materials for installation must come into play. And that's why we have come up on this issues that we have raised. And so we need to understand that now we're raising the issue of now is now becoming mandatory for the agency now to provide guidance in the industry, like I said, to ensure safety of lives and property. Now, if we allow this technology that has come in now, everybody is going into it, everybody's rushing into it now. There are a lot of people, if you testify what we've discussed, people without the prerequisite and knowledge are also now rushing into it. Now, if there's no guidance, nobody to now set the industry straight, we'll have the challenges of fire incidents will now become even more than what we have in the conventional installation. So that's why the agency has come in and to say, no, please, let's take a pause, let's stop. Everybody who's going to work, you must comfort. We must now ensure that not every Tom, Dick, and Harry goes into in this installation practice. You must be tested and show that you are competent before we allow you to carry any construction. Because when fire incidences happen, when properties are burnt, when people die from electrocution, from all these incidences, look, no matter the compensation amount of money you pay, once a life is lost, property is lost, you cannot get it back. It is gone. And so it is this that it's bothering us in the mind. I would say, no, let's be careful. Let's ensure that we regulate the industry. Let's ensure that standard regulations that guide the industry, that people who are going to work in the industry must know that there are standards, must know that there are regulations, and must know that there's a regulator and there's an enforcement agency ensuring that this process, everything works in line with what government has set out in our regulation. So it's not a free-for-all practice for everybody to just jump in and have knowledge from here, or somebody's doing this and I'll start doing the whole thing and then cause chaos in the industry. And so that's why we are here. That's why we need to regulate the industry, and that's why we're doing what we are doing right now. Number 20, the certification is valid for 6 years, but renewed every year. What exactly happens at year 6? The certification is valid for 6 years, but renewable every year. What exactly happens at year 6? Now, the person is asking what happens at the 6th year, because certificate is valid for 6 years. Yes. Now, we need to understand, if we look at our certification scheme, I know many of us, I think the last interaction, we asked people to go to our website to look at the certification scheme, to look at all our laws, all our regulations, all that guides installation. They should look at it. And our certification scheme, as stipulated in 7.0 certification scheme, there are requirements for the certification. 7.0, I'm so that you can also check. 7.0, there's a requirement for certification scheme, for recertification. And I will read it for us. Please, let's pay attention. Now, 1, participation in any related electrical installation conferences, seminars, workshops, or training at least 2 to 3 times in every 6 years of the validity period of certification, and at least once every 2 years of the corporate company's validity period of certification. Let me read that again, because the person asks, what happens at year 6? Certification is valid for 6 years, but renewable every year. What exactly happens at year 6? And I'm saying that yes, at year 6, certified installation practitioners are required to undergo recertification process as stipulated in 7.0 certification scheme. And it states, now, participation in any related electrical installation conferences, seminars, workshops, or training at least 2 to 3 times in every 6 years of validity period of certification. Now, we're saying that if you have the certificate, and when it comes to the 6th year, where you are coming back for recertification, part of the condition we will look at when recertifying you is that you show evidence that you have attended a conference, seminar, workshop on this type of installation for at least 2 or 3 times in that 6 years. You must show evidence, which means that you must show that you have upgraded yourself within that period, because technology changes every day. Technology is not static. So imagine in 6 years' time how technology would have grown in 6 years' time. So you will need to know that in that 6 years' time that you had the certificate, you have added value to yourself, and you show us evidence by producing the certificates of any workshop, training, or conferences that you attended. And that is for the individual. And then for corporate companies, once you must show that you are at least once every 2 years. So for those engineers under the corporate certification, your own training now will be once every 2 years. You must show that in every 2 years. That means 3 times in that year, within that 6 years, you must show that you attended training periods within that period. Now the whole essence now is for 6 years we were practicing. Now we don't know whether for those 6 years you were getting jobs every year, or whether for those 6 years you got jobs 2 or 3 times in that year, or in that 6 years the only jobs you got were rooftop, or you got a mini grid project, or depending on what kind of job you got in that 6 years. Technology would have advanced. The BESS is coming up, battery system, new storage system that is coming up. A new lot of advancement is growing now. Even in our battery storage systems, is coming up. So in 6 years, a lot would have happened. So when you come for the certification, we want to ask you now, in these 6 years, we know that certification technology has advanced in renewable installation sphere. We're going to find out from you, are you abreast with these new technologies? If you're not abreast with it, then it becomes an issue. Because going forward from that 6th year, people are going to start deploying the new technology. And if you are not abreast with it, how do you now fit into the market going forward? So that's an issue. And that's why we're asking that you must show evidence that you have actually learned something, you have added value to yourself within that period for us to recertify you and ask you to go back and continue your installation. So it's very, very important that you must keep upgrading yourself and not remain static because you have Nemsa certificate, you go to sleep and don't add any value to yourself. Question 21. Results come in 3 weeks, but why do I only have 90 days to pay before I lose my pass? The person is asking that it takes 3 weeks for your results to come out, and then we're asking for 90 days, which is 3 months for him to do all the necessary documentation, otherwise your certificate is gone. I mean, you are comparing 3 weeks with 90 days. 3 weeks is just 21 days. You're comparing 21 days with 90 days. Do not forget that the way Nemsa operates is in line with international best practice. It is not Nemsa that just sat down and said, let's do 3 weeks and let's do 90 days. No, we look at international best practice and then we adopt it to ensure that we don't go out of the space. Do not forget that we are also certified 17024. We have certification 17024 certification, which means that with our certificate, you can practice anywhere in the world. So we're internationally recognized. So whatever we do is in line with international best practice. It's not sitting down here and deciding on what we need to do. So please, once you get your result 21 days after your exams, you still have almost 70 days for you to do your documentation. So I'm surprised why the person is asking. You cannot write an exam. If it means so much to you, once your result comes out, why will you now want to wait for a year before you come and conclude your process? It means that you're not serious. You don't need certificate. Because 70 days is enough for you to do all your conclusion and get your certificate. Why will you wait more than that? Please. So please, it's not an issue with Nemsa. It's international best practice. You can check anywhere. We are following international best practice. And if it means so much to you, the minute your result comes out, we expect you to immediately rush and get the certificate and go back to the industry and continue to do your job. Well, that's the reason why you came for the certification in the first place. So why will you delay it? You know, so the last question. Category 1 list engineering degrees. What about physics, instrumentation, or technology graduates? I'm a technical drawing graduate. What about physics, instrumentation, or technology graduates? I'm a technical drawing graduate. Madam, if you remember, we had this explanation last time you came where we talked about the need of engineering and engineers on this matter, because we know that you know, the way the country is, anything opens up, everybody wants to go into it. But people forget that there are core foundation that you need to have to understand to do this work. For the category list, please, let's listen. A relevant engineering or technical degree in electrical electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, physics, electronics, instrumentation, as stipulated in the certification scheme, is a mandatory requirement to carry out complex electrical engineering works. It is, because when it comes to design, we keep emphasizing where people keep missing the point. When it comes to design, it is engineering. You are going to size your cables. You're going to do a load analysis. Based on that, you're going to do calculations to determine the size of cables you're going to use. The current carrying capacity of your cables are going to be known. The length of the cables that you are going to run are going to be known. Is there going to be a voltage drop? So that you know how to use a higher size of cable or a lower size of cable because of voltage drop. I'm going to take it into consideration. We are going to do segregation at your DB, because some clients will tell you, on my rooftop system, I don't want my ACs, I don't want my heaters, I only want lighting points. So at your DB, where you're going to now connect it with your system to integrate your solar into the system, you're going to do segregation there to know which and which to connect into. These are engineering knowledge that requires. So please, we always say that for such people, you cannot be independent. You must work under somebody who is experienced, who knows these things, so that to guide that construction. Because part of the reason we are having electrical fire in solar installations, this is the reason why I have the electrical installation fire, most electrical fires. These are the reasons. Because the person does not know the implication of using undersized cable for the installations, or the reason of when you are doing your segregation between the utility company and the solar project, when you are changing over, he doesn't know the implication of all these things. He just does supply, and the client who is very ignorant, once there's supply in his house, he doesn't know what the pressure at the distributor point until fire incident happen, and then a harm's way has happened, and then we start running up and down, and it becomes a problem at that time. So we're trying to prevent all this issue, and that's why I'm saying competency doesn't just stop at being able to deploy your solar panels either on the roof, or to set up the arrays, put them on the support structures outside on your car park porch. No, it goes beyond that. Your cables that are going to run, that are going to carry the load, run from that point down to the house, has to be calculated. There's calculation for all that. Has to be designed. Part of all that also, you must know why you're using it. And do not forget that sometimes you do a design, and by the time you start the construction work, your design changes. The man will tell you initially when he's giving you the job and says, I don't want my AC to be part of it, I don't want my heater. Then the day you start the construction, he now says, please, I want you to add my heater. I want my heater and my AC to be added to it, because I just realized that it can still take it. You say, yes, okay, go ahead. As the person doing the project, once he says add one AC or two ACs, it means that your cable sizes are going to change automatically. And you must not let the man know that if I'm going to add your AC, I said we're going to use 6 mm before. We're adding AC, but we can't use 6 mm. We're going to use 10 mm now. So this year, your materials have to change. So you must know the implication of all these things. And that's why particularly you must have this technical background before you will be allowed to carry out this practice. So that's the emphasis why we're laying on this. It's not like we're trying to push people out. No, we're looking at the long-term implication of this whole thing. That's why we're saying, no, please, we need to be careful. Because electricity, they say, is a very wonderful servant, but it's a very, very dangerous master, as to say. Thank you. Those are the questions. I think we've answered the questions that were sent to us, the number, and I hope we're clear, we're explicit enough for your understanding. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Engineer Gideon and Engineer Momo. We really appreciate your these questions. Please, can we give it up? Like, guys, please give it up. Give it up. I want to see the hand. Use the emojis. Yes, thank you. I can see it coming. Wow. Thank you, first of all, for taking the time to explain it the way that you have done. I really appreciate the things you've said, Engineer Momo, Engineer Gideon. Safety is key. It is the first thing. Yes, it is the first thing, so that we make sure that we protect people whilst we're helping to give them electricity. It's not just about giving them electricity, but doing it in a safe way. And in the moment when people are getting solar installed in their house, they're not thinking about those errors that can happen. They're just happy about light. What Nemsa has done is help installers, help practitioners, all of you on the chat, all of us that teach it, understand that these things are firstly core, firstly very foundational, and you require time to be that competent, which is what we do at RETTI. We give it 6 months, very extensive, so that you can practice, and gain the skill. Training does not help. That's just the truth. One-off training does not help. Just like do a training doesn't truly help. So thank you very much again, sir, for covering all these things. Thank you to Nemsa. I think any other person from Nemsa wants to speak. Yes, we're going to go to the question. We have some more minutes and we'll go to questions. I thought, did any other person from Nemsa want to speak? Engineer John, Engineer Gideon?
Albert Jimmy will take us through, because in Nemsa, when we are talking of certification, we have different categories. It's not only solar. So he will quickly take us through some of the schemes we have, so that, because I know there are a lot of people on this platform now, so that they'll be able to
on the call are interested in solar, but
only
I think
I know
there are solar people most on the call. Yes, but yeah, I think you can briefly share the electrical things. Yes, briefly. Yes.
Because when you talk solar, somebody also want to do wiring. It's very key. So you need to have some of this understanding and how our scopes goes through. So he will quickly take us through the scope. Then the floor will now be open for more questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. ICT, please help me. Please pin the speaker. I think. Oh, he's here. You're all here. Right. Thank you.
Like I said.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure having you here. One, I have checked online section under the chat section, and I've seen there are some questions were asked. So I want to quickly answer those questions. One person requested to know. One person mentioned that when Engineer Gideon was talking, he did not mention computer engineering, and he asked if it was deliberately missed or not intentional. Yes, computer engineering is part of the scope of engineering, so the person can apply for category 1, but you need to know that it is not automatic. Actually, what you will be subjected to exam and interview. So it is the exam and interview that will show whether the person is actually qualified for category 1 or for category 2. So that's the answer that I want for that. Now, another person asked, what does Nemsa advise us to tell our consumer? Tell consumers to look out for in their would-be installers. The first thing you need to tell them is that it is a criminal offense to patronize an installer that is not certified by Nemsa. There could be negative effects for both the installer and the consumer. So please tell them that, because it is patronizing such people is working against the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if issues arise, legal issues arise, it may affect the two parties, both the installers and the consumer. Now, number 3, somebody said he is a graduate of industrial chemistry, that whether he can apply for Nemsa certificate. Yes, he can apply with added training, with added hands-on training from reputable solar companies or institutes. And we have category 1 and category 2. Such a person might fit for category 2, which is lesser in the term of the kilowatt capacity. So, and we need to know, like I said, that it is not automatic that because you apply, you must pass. It depends on how you can be able to demonstrate skill and competence. I think those are the 3 questions I saw online. If there are more, if there are any other one that I have not answered, you can still bring it up to me.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, there is more. There's actually more. So, but once you're done with what you want to, I think you wanted to talk about more about the electrical side. So once you're just done, the team, they will read it all out. There are more questions on YouTube. We have 150 people watching on YouTube. So there are questions there. So yes, continue, sir, please. Thank you.
Okay. Now, before we go to more, I want to advise everybody that you can actually apply for Nemsa certification on our website, nemsa.gov.ng, www.nemsa.gov.ng. Right there, you will see our scheme. Go to where you will see certification scheme. You will see Nemsa certification, Nemsa competence certification. So you can go there. You will download our scheme. Our scheme is like a Bible that gives a guide of everything, all the categories of the electrical installation. You have the one for solar. You have the one for. We have 3 or 4 categories. One, the first category, the first type is for what we call conventional power. That one covers the people that installs the normal transformer, house wiring, and all of that. And we have it in category A, B, C, D. A is the highest category that you can install up to 330 kV, up to even 132 kV, and on the rest. That's the highest. Category D is the one for house wiring, the normal house wiring. So then we also have metric certificate, which we have installer category 1 and 2. So metric installer certificate are for those installation personnel, are for those who carry out installation of meters. And you know we have different categories of meters. You have the MD, you have the single phase, 3-phase, and all of that. So we also have category 1 and 2, which category 1 is the highest and category 2 is the lowest. Then there is also aspect of monitoring and sanctions. We want you to know that even if you manage to pass Nemsa certificate, it is not it doesn't imply that it is for life. We will continue to monitor whether you are carrying out the installation according to the specifications and standards and safety regulations. And if that's why you must subject all your projects to inspections by our Nemsa office. We have a 21 inspectorate field offices. These places are where all our exams take place. If you want to write exam, if you fill online, you can choose a location of any of these 21 offices across the country. So, and these inspectors must come to inspect your project after you have finished the project. For those that will do bad job, the scheme explains that your certificate you can be sanctioned. Your certificate can be suspended or withdrawn if we find out that you are doing bad job. So that is it. So I think I am done. I am done with that. If there are more questions, either online or whatever, you can bring them up.
Okay, so thank you very much, Engineer John. The thing, how we're going to do it is this. I'll have my colleague read out some questions on YouTube, or Ms. Esther will read out. I think you have missed some questions on this chat. Can you please confirm that he has answered all of them, or are there questions that Engineer John has missed? Ms. Esther, help me take a look. Have you answered all of it, sir? Let me check if you covered it all. Okay, so somebody said quantity surveying. Did you already respond to that? The person who has a B.Tech in quantity surveying.
Okay,
now I don't think so.
For category 2, yes, the person can apply after obtaining other necessary training, solar installation training, and with experience. But like I said, the person's level of skill will be subjected through exam and interview at Nemsa office during the exam. So that is what is going to reveal whether the person is actually qualified for our category 2 or not.
Okay, that's okay. Miss Esther, please, I can see a couple more questions. Can you read those out? There are more questions. He didn't mention your question. Okay, which one was your question?
Okay, so there's a question here that says, in terms of regulations, is cybersecurity included in the regulation policies? Renewable energy, is it part of it? Is it part and parcel of the CNI?
Please say that again. What is CNI? Please repeat the question.
Okay, the question says, in terms of regulations, is cybersecurity included in the regulation policies?
Well, I'm not sure cybersecurity and renewable energy regulations are the same. So I can't understand where the person is coming from, except if the person wants to ask if you have cybersecurity, if you are a cybersecurity graduate, and you have undergone trainings, solar installation trainings, and you have experience, not just the training, you have hands-on experience with that's why we stipulate that 3 years, just to be sure that the person has now the experience well enough to handle this. If you are asking subjects, the person can be considered after going through our exam and interview. I don't know if that actually answer that question.
Okay, Mr. Olubowale, does this answer your question? Because you're the one who asked that question, Mr. Olubowale Sango Sonia. Okay, he said no. Please, can you be unmuted? I think you can unmute so that you can ask the question in a way we can all understand. Admin,
So
please, can you grant
ICT, please unmute him.
Please unmute him so he can ask. Thank you.
Yeah. While we wait for him to be unmuted, I think what Engineer John was saying, there could be a separate certification process for cybersecurity, but I'm not sure. So please unmute and then you can explain more for the Nemsa team to answer. His name is, did you get the name ICT? So you can unmute him, please. Not yet. He's still muted. His name is Olubowale Samkosonya.
Okay, sorry, maybe.
Miss Esther, check if you can unmute him. You are a co-host. You should be able to. Oh, we've asked you to unmute. You should be able to unmute now. Try.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So my question was regarding, cyber security in terms of regulations and policies. So apart from training, cybersecurity is very important and key. So if, someone goes on a site and inspection, they need to make sure that the cybersecurity elements or controls cannot be manipulated. Again, I'm saying, is there a guideline or regulations in terms of, renewable energy? Thank you.
Well, what I understand is that cyber security and renewable energy regulation, they are completely two different sides of regulations. So I am trying to see how the two interrelate. It is not considered in our certification, because our certification is specifically based on your capacity to be able to install solar systems. Something completely different. It's
Okay.
another topic entirely.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I add something to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, go on.
I wanted to just quickly add that maybe sometimes there are some connections, Internet of Things, that will be, that are integrated within the solar system. I don't know if that's where he's coming from.
Yeah, that's
whereby
it. Purely
is used to protect the
cybersecurity consultant working in renewable energy and critical network, infrastructure. So, for example, in terms of cybersecurity, when you inspect, when you go with the specification design, so some of cybersecurity elements are missing. So when for example I do an audit, I see cybersecurity or access control connections, like Gloria said, Internet of Things, that it's not being how do I say, it's not being implemented or it's not being considered. So again, I can hack into any, junction box, whether solar, whether, I just need to. So are there regulations or policies against, checking all those things? Not only RE, but, obviously rail, electric, power, etc. as well. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. I just want to quickly relate in terms of metering, because when you are talking about cyber,
We're not seeing your face, sir. Can you, the person that's talking? Okay, yes, like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are looking at in terms of metering. When you are talking about cyber security, a lot of people, as we said earlier, Internet of Things, they want to be able to control their usage through the internet. So if we are providing metering system into that installation, that means that meter need to be certified by Nemsa.
Exactly. Thank you.
So, and in that regard, all the cybersecurity issues will be looked into during the metering metering certification process, and that will be guided.
Okay,
so
and that's what I'm saying. That absolutely, sir, absolutely. That's fantastic. So, do we have? Sorry,
I don't know if you are coming in. I said earlier, Nemsa is a one-stop shop where you have all your technical enforcement at every given time. So when you are talking of even the components in terms of the solar were available, when you are, because you cannot sell what you cannot measure. A lot of people want to sell their solar output. And if you want to sell your solar output, that means you need to move a step further. Then you talk of metering. So regarding metering, there's a process in place. Before you bring in meter into your solar installation, there's what we call type test. We need to type test your meter to see if it's in conformity with our standards and regulations. Why are we doing this? You can go to another country, their voltage is 110, go to another country, 230. So for Nigeria, it's 230. Then we also look at the temperature. Does it match? So that's what we call type test. Any meter coming into the country, Nemsa will first of all carry out what we call type test to make sure that they are in line with our standards and regulations. And when this is achieved, the meter pass, then we give you what we call type test certificate, which means you are allowed to do a mass production of those meters. Doing a mass production of those meters doesn't mean when you mass produce, you go and install directly at the customer location. No, there is still what we call routine test, because we need to confirm, because a lot of system is, when you are doing the type test, they want to make sure they meet all the necessary requirements, all the necessary standard. Then when they now do mass production, they drop the standard. But for us to curtail that, there's what we call routine test. So we carry a routine test on those meters to confirm that, oh, the type test certificate that was given to you, what you produce is in line with that. And if it passes, we'll give you a routine test certificate. If it fails, we advise you to take those products back to factory to rework. So if it passes, there's a security features we put on those meters, which will now allow you to go and deploy them at customer side. We have what we call Nemsa cream seal and due date test label. These two features must be on every meter you are deploying to customer locations. Why are we doing this? You may have issue with your customer. Oh, I don't trust the integrity of these meters. I want Nemsa to come and check the integrity of these meters. If those meters are not tested by Nemsa or didn't pass through us, we will not lay our hand on it. And we also pick you up because it's a violation of the law. Because no meter must be installed without Nemsa certifying them. And when we certify them, in terms of cybersecurity you are talking about, we also look at the security put in place to safeguard anybody using the Internet of Things. Because I want to log on through my phone, I want to log on with any device. Is there a layers of security put in place so as to protect the client? So all this will be looked into, because a lot of people want to see real time of what is happening at home and time of power usage. You'll be able to view it, and want to make sure that all these are properly controlled and guided. So there are a lot of standards and regulations. So as we go on, a lot of things will be revealed to us, and we will come to have a better understanding what is happening in the power sectors. So there are a lot of things Nemsa do. So it's going to be revealing to you gradually as the event unfolds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Wonderful.
Thank you very much for that question.
Okay. Can I take on some other questions in the comment box, in the chat box?
Yes, Miss Esther will read it out for you, sir.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Oluboli, for that question, and thank you for the answers, sir. So there are more questions here. One says, as an electrical engineer with certification in metering categories, does the individual still need to do another category 1 in renewable energy, considering the fact that the cost of certification and yearly payments might not be palatable?
Okay, thank you very much. It is mandatory that you must obtain Nemsa certificate for a particular aspect that you applied for. For instance, if you are applying for metering, you are tested and certified for metering. That can only carry you use it to, I mean, you can only use that one for metering. You still need to go and obtain another one for renewable energy, because one, the panelist needs to actually test you that you still have qualification for, you still have the experience and qualification for the renewable energy. So you have to obtain different certificates for each of them.
Sorry. What we need to know here is, what we are talking about is competency. Competency certificate. I can do this. Can you do it? Come and show us. A lot of people will say they can do it. Then when they saw it practically, they won't be able to deliver. But I can do this, show it. Then let us be careful. The cost we are talking about is not, the cost is not there. When you go through, it's on our website. There is nothing hidden in Nemsa. The cost attached are very, very negligible. So don't let us look at standards and regulation. Don't let us put money first, because safety of life and property is paramount in this situation. And we want the industry to be well guided. And for the industry to be well guided, we need to make sure we are working in line with standards, codes, and regulations as obtainable globally. What we are doing in Nigeria is the same thing done everywhere. And that's why Nemsa is making sure that everything we are implementing is in line with global standard. As of today, Nemsa is certified with QMS, Quality Management System 9001-2015, for our process and procedures to make sure that what we are doing is in line with global standard. And that's why we also move a step forward to make sure that the personnel we certify can practice anywhere in the world. And that's why we have the 17024-2017 certification for personnel, which means anywhere you are, you table your certificate. We have a lot of people, even from Niger, coming to take our certification because they've seen the value in it. A lot of people, even in UK, they use some of our certificate to carry out their business activities there. So Nemsa will continually work to make sure that any certificate emanating from us is globally accepted. Thank you.
Next question, please. Next question.
Okay, next question. Next question here says, if a company has partnerships with a professional solar installation company to carry out all their solar installations, can they leverage on the Nemsa certification of such company?
Okay, if when Nemsa inspector come to site to inspect the project that has been installed, they will confirm that the engineer that is on a particular company is the one who did the project for that company. So you cannot use another company to install a project for you, especially if it's a project that is on contract. We will check the contract document to be sure that it is the same company that is on that company that executes the project. So, and the engineer has to be registered with. So every company needs to have their own Nemsa corporate certificate. That is my answer. Next one, please.
Okay, so Adeleke, you said read your question. Please, where exactly is your question? I can't find it here.
Okay, I know he's Christian. His question is that he wants to get the past question of Nemsa exams. We told him that we don't have that though. So if Nemsa can send it to us, we will share it with everyone.
Okay.
The
answer is that there is no past question. Each question is prepared for each exam. Exactly. And it is regulated, it is under international certification that we have, 17024. So you cannot use any past question for a current exam. So you that's the answer for that. No past question. That's where your experience. And the questions, the exam is just 15 marks. It is the experience that actually carry your practical experience is the one who carry the highest of the scores. So that is the answer. No past question.
Yeah. So the other question, Esther, are you on it? Have you seen this other question? Adeleke Olu wrote to me. Can you unmute yourself and ask this question, please? Adeleke. Can you unmute him? ICT, is that possible? Or I can just read out his question. So this question says, I am Adeleke Oluvrotimi from Rotis Resource Management. Assuming I have been in the solar industry for more than 8 years, and I have been trained and certified by the International Solar Company, since the company is globally known and recognized, and Nemsa certification is also globally known and recognized, should I still need Nemsa certification in Nigeria to operate in Nigeria? Should I repeat that? Oh, you're on mute, sir, Mr. John.
Okay. You use Nigerian law in Nigeria while you use the law in another country for that country. So it is mandatory that in Nigeria you must obtain Nemsa certificate before you can carry out installation. You can't use another global certificate without Nemsa certificate. The only thing that can happen is that perhaps when you are doing your application, you can submit the international certificate that you have. It could be part of the materials to be reviewed during the exam, but that does not give you the power to do without Nemsa certificate. It is mandatory under the electricity.
Thank you for that, sir.
Okay, let me just chip in this. Nigeria is not existing in isolation. There is what we call IEC standards. So majority of all these IEC is not that Nigerian, we just sit down and manufacture our own standard. All these standards are still based on IEC standards. So when we are talking of standard, we are talking globally. The only thing is, what we do is to domesticate some of those things into Nigeria peculiar environment. For example, somebody in Maiduguri, when the temperature is running up to 45, 50 degrees. So any equipment we are producing, we need to subject some of those equipment to that temperature to be able to be sure that when those temperatures rise to that level, that equipment will still be able to deliver. But IEC has the minimum requirement. So everybody needs to work in line as the standards required.
Next question, please.
There's a question here. It says, if a company has partnership with a professional solar installation company to carry out all their solar installation, can they leverage on the Nemsa certification of that solar installation company for the installations that they do? So it is two in one question now. This person asking is a company, solar company, but they subcontract the jobs to another solar company that has Nemsa certificate. So he's saying, does that now apply to them as a company since that company that do installations for them has Nemsa certification? If the person is here
I've answered that
yourself
needs to have their own.
Okay, you have. Okay. I just saw it now. Okay. Sorry, sir. All right. Miss Esther, please, any other questions here, or you go to the YouTube and just get the questions on YouTube?
Let me answer like two that I noted from the chat box.
Okay, sir. Please, sir. Go ahead.
One, somebody said, is inspection done after installation? Yes. It is after you have carried out the installation in line with regulations, specification, and standard. You will now write to Nemsa office that is covering that area. For instance, if the project is done around Oshodi in Lagos, we have Nemsa has an inspectorate field office in Lagos covering Oshodi. You will write to them to come and inspect. If the project is done in Ibadan, you will write to Nemsa office, Nemsa inspectorate field office in Ibadan to come and inspect the project after the installation. Then another question asks, when does Nemsa conduct certification exam? Certification exam is conducted, like I said, in 21 inspectorate field offices across the country. However, now there is no specific date for exams because we need to meet the requirement of 60 participants before an exam can hold in a particular location. So any location that has that number of 60 participants, we upload it on our website for the exam to hold in that place. And the reason is because Nemsa does not carry out the exam and interview alone. We have stakeholders and partners as a measure of guaranteeing impartiality. And they are the External Organization of Nigeria, Federal Ministry of Labor, and other organizations, so which are part of it. And these panelists come from these organizations, and so we cannot just bring all those panelists, maybe about 6 or 8 of them, for only 10 people or 5 people to be examined. That's why we require that 60 in the location. However, 60 minimum. However, we also have in situations whereby we have an MOU with a training institution or a training school. If the participants gather under that solar training institution, and they have up to that number, 60, an exam can be organized specifically for those organizations because of our partnership and MOU with them. The last 2 weeks we were in Lagos for NAPTI, where they invite us to certify like 72 or 74. So also in Abuja we have an organization like that, a solar installation, who gather the people that they have trained, and we are invited to certify them. Thank you.
I mean, it's also the conversation we're having with Nemsa as well, for to gather people together. So all those interested, of course, let us know. We're trying, once you're qualified, we will gather you together in our center and we can invite Nemsa, to come and administer the exams also. Somebody asked on the chat, excuse me. Somebody asked on the chat, for those of us who are recently certified by reputable training institutes, and we don't yet have the 3 years experience, so we shouldn't bother getting the certification now or sitting the exam until we have the 3 years experience. Is that correct?
Well, that's what is in the scheme, and I think that is the standard. However, if you look at the first question that was answered, so if they have some added like training school is there, let me read it out to you. That as stated in Nemsa competency certification scheme, completion of a renewable energy training program from a reputable training institution shall count as an added advantage towards obtaining renewable energy certification. So when a candidate meets basic education requirements like WAEC, NATEP, OND degree, and has completed such training, such candidates might be permitted to apply for Nemsa certification under renewable energy category 2 scheme. However, like I said, it will be subjected to exam and interview. So it is if the person is able to demonstrate that knowledge beyond reasonable doubt that the person might be considered for the certification.
Yes. Great. So they are asking if they can keep installing while waiting to reach the 3 years so that they can be able to show. I think part of it is
the solution to that, if they do it alone, they are breaking the law of the country and the law will catch up with them. If you are waiting for your own, before your own certification, you can get somebody certified by Nemsa and work under the person. That's the only thing that can cover you for now.
Yeah.
Get more knowledge gain more knowledge and experience under that person while you are doing your certificate. And based on this, I think since this question is coming, if your RETTI can quickly organize those people that want the exam done on time, and we have that number 60, 70, we can quickly organize a certification for them so that you will not continue to break the law. But then, for now, work under a certified Nemsa.
We have the number. We will put them together. Many of them are also on this call. So we'll put them together, especially because you've gone through a training. On June 1, we'll start a new training. For those that don't have a certificate, we'll train you, then give you outdoor experience so that you can have some proof of how this thing works, spend your time doing it. And then after that, when we can vouch for you that you can do this well, we'll organize all your names. And we can't send your name really if you don't have any training at first. So please, that's what it means. But we're going to we'll gather them together and let you know.
Hello, sorry. We also have a scenario whereby some people have been practicing and they just need to go through training. That practicing will also count. Then the training will not be an added advantage. Then they can put in. I don't know if you get if it's clear, because a lot of people have been practicing, but they need to brush up. That's why they come. So they look at when they started practicing, then with their brush up, then they can apply.
Yeah.
What the Nigerian is just saying is that, for instance, if you have been practicing before and perhaps you have not gone through training, so actually training is not training by an institute is not a mandatory requirement. It is part of requirement. So for those who have not gone through a training by a solar training institute, they can still also apply. They can still also apply, but there are some that they have been applying, they have been working before. Then they now go to a solar training institute to get trained and to get a certificate. You don't need to wait for another 3 years after you finish that training with that solar training institute. You don't have to wait for another 3 years. Based on the experience that you have before, you can apply. That's what Engineer Keynote just said.
Yeah. So what a training does for you is that you'll be able to answer the Nemsa technical questions. They have technical, oral, then safety, right? So those are the things the training covers. so that when you go out there, you are prepared with exactly how to answer all of the different categories. That's really what training does. The law actually says that if you have a training, renewable energy training, you have an advantage. So for anybody who is wondering about that, that is helpful. But if what the Nemsa team is saying is that if you have experience, that also counts. Once you can prove your experience by showing pictures that I've been doing this and doing this, the only thing training does for you is that you can be certified that we have this person has sat under instruction and they can answer this and that. So if you're here and you have experience, reach out to RETTI, let us know that experience, we will package it. If you have a training, that's better. Bring your certificate from the training institute. If you have been trained in RETTI, for those of you that are here, that's good too. Bring the certificate. We'll package everything and show Nemsa that we can vouch for these people. So that's really what it helps you achieve in the exam. You'll be able to pass the exam because you have been trained on those technicalities that Nemsa is asking in their exams. Is there any other question, Miss Esther? Help me check. So can you take questions from the YouTube, please? I'm aware I was just told that 215 people are now watching on YouTube. So let's attend to them briefly so that we don't keep our guests waiting for so long. Miss Esther, thanks. Oh, here, someone asked about current. What about the part for a current registered engineer? So from what I understand from the law, before I call the team, that is also good. It gives you an advantage. Current registered engineer. There's also a current solar training as well. So if you have a current solar training or you're a current registered engineer, the Nemsa law says that is an advantage. It shows them that you have the technical understanding and that then you can go ahead and apply to write the exams. It doesn't mean that if you have the current certificate or current solar training or any other solar training institute that you now automatically will get the certification. No, it means that you can write the exam. Nemsa just wants to see that you can answer the technical questions. And a current training or reputable training institute partnering with Nemsa proves that you can answer those questions. That's the response on current. Someone else said.
Well, let me.
Oh, yes, sir, please. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, please respond to that. Sorry.
Just to make it clearer, if you have a current engineering certificate, you will be exempted from writing exam. You will just do oral interview. But that is for those who have current, that are certified as engineers, not just solar training. Not just solar, those certified as engineers.
Current engineers, yeah. Okay.
Yes, they will only do interview. They will not write exam.
So that's a good one for current registered engineers that are on the chat. That doesn't mean you will not be qualified. You will still meet the qualifications. You still gather your materials and all that, but they're saying they're not going to test you technically because, of course, current has already tested you to give you that engineering. Current is a good one. So for all the current guys, congratulations on that. So you only do the oral. They'll question you and find out what you really, really know about the solar or the electrical installations. That's what he means. Okay. Miss Esther, please help me. Let's run with this. There are a couple more questions. Thank you so much for your patience.
Can you hear me? Just a minute, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. So on YouTube, we have a couple of questions, though some have been answered. So I'm just going to ask the one that I feel like hasn't been answered. Okay, this one says, what are the benefits of the inspection carried out by Nemsa, seeing that I'll be the one to invite them?
Okay, one, it is a law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, enshrined in the Electricity Act, that every electrical project must be inspected and tested and certified by Nemsa before it is put to use. And that law has been in operation for over 70 years or 60 years from Federal Ministry of Power, Inspectorate Department. So it's just that when Nemsa was created in 2015 by Nemsa Act 2015, before it became Electricity Act, so the function was transferred to Nemsa. Now, the benefit is that one, you are not breaking the law, because if there is an accident or there are incident and they carry out the maybe the electrical investigation, because Nemsa is the agency of government that also carry out electrical investigation. If they discover that the person who installed that project was not certified by Nemsa, that is crime number one. For putting the project to use, that might cause danger to the life of the people and even destroy properties is crime number 2. So the list is inexhaustible. Then number 3, if it is a contract job from government, for instance, nobody will give you a job from a contract from government if you don't have Nemsa certificate. So you are doing yourself all the good by having that Nemsa certificate. Thank you.
And I just want to buttress it. Why are we certifying projects? Is to fit for purpose. And you discover that our major concern is safety of lives and property. Because you discover there are projects you do in less than 2 months start falling apart. We are there to check that those projects were built in line with standards and regulations. For example, like my colleague has said earlier, there are some people using an undersized cable, which cause serious issue as they continually use the project. And at the end, it can cause fire in the building. So, and again, it's very key and very important that when you build an installation, you need a third party to inspect, test, and give you that this project is now fit for use, fit for purpose, and the project will last long. And again, if there's an issue, there's what we call traceability. When there's an issue with that project, if it's a certified person that installed the project, we can be able to trace it down because we have the details of that person. So we can bring him for him to come and respond to issues that may come up during installation. There are a lot of installation people carry out. They don't put earthing into consideration. When Nemsa go, there are a lot of things we point out, and they will check and resolve those issues and reinvite us to come and inspect the project. Because earthing is very, very important in all our buildings to safeguard the installation. So a lot of people will do a very big installation, you can't find earthing there. And if there's any issue, the system will blow up. So we need to make sure that everything we are doing is in line with standards and regulations, so that at every given time, when there is an audit on your installation, you come out clean. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So another question here says, for a solar academy, is there a way we can come in for partnership with Nemsa to train and certify installers?
Yes, I've already mentioned that before, that we have partnership, we have MOU with some training academics. So the person can come up, the company rather can come up. Can you please quickly round up?
Okay, so we have just two more questions here. This person is asking about Coren. Do you mean since I have the Coren SPVI certification, I will still write exam and still do technical competency?
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. I think the current one keeps coming, is reoccurring.
The difference is just only those. The difference is only those who are certified as engineers. Those are the people that don't go through, they don't do written exam, that they just do oral interview. But they will go through oral. But for all these SPV trainees, they will do both written and oral.
Okay, so somebody here is also
asking. They be afraid they will pass if they went through the training properly. So there's nothing to be afraid of. They will pass.
Okay, so this person is asking that, are there project referral opportunities from Nemsa to certified installers?
Come again.
Are there project referral opportunities from Nemsa to certified installers?
Well, we have we don't directly do project referrals since we are federal government. But what we do is that we upload the list of companies and individuals that have been certified by Nemsa on Nemsa website. We have seen situations whereby organizations go to our website to identify companies that are certified and they engage them. We've also seen situations whereby company writes to us and request that they want a list of people certified by Nemsa in a particular state, which guides them to be able to know how to engage those people for work.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. So the last question I'm going to take here says, how does Nemsa plan to enforce certification on installers out there, seeing we have a lot of quack installers practicing?
Okay, this the publication that Nemsa did is one of the ways, so that nobody will say, oh, I am not aware. This program that we are doing is part of the way to create awareness so that all the installers are aware. And I want to believe that after this training, the organizer will make available online the link for people who are not on this platform to also be able to watch the interview. So those are the ways. Then we have our field inspectors in all over the federation that are going. There's something we call network monitoring. They are going from place to place to go and check installations. So from there, the enforcement will be carried out. If we find anybody who is not certified, we have partners that write to Nemsa that we are seeing people carrying out installation in this also place, and we discover that they are not certified by Nemsa. So when they send to us, the office in charge is mandated to quickly go and carry out the investigation and find out who carried out that installation. In fact, there is a case that is going on now in Abuja that from even police, that one of the police stations that they were carrying out investigation on an installation. So and the enforcement is already on, and I will advise that don't be caught by law. Come by yourself for Nemsa certification. Then also, if there is an accident, Nemsa is mandated to investigate electrical accident. It will reveal that this person who carried out the installation was not certified by Nemsa, and it increases the punishment by law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. That's all the questions on YouTube. Over to you,
Then if there are
Ma.
questions now, right now, sorry, those on the chat, there are questions now. If you have a question, have a final chance to ask Nemsa now. ICT, please, you can unmute people so that we can take a few more. For those that about 70 something more people on the call will ask.
Yeah, I think
So
you can
please
just
your
raise your
hands.
hand here so that we can unmute those who raise their hands. Okay, there's one person, Ibrahim Danjuma. You can unmute now, Ibrahim Danjuma.
ICT, please unmute him.
Yes, exactly. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. I just needed a clarification concerning this inspection. So I needed to know, though I have already asked the question, I think it was not answered completely. This inspection that you one have to invite the team. So I want to know, is this process free? Supposing all these maybe fee that it's required to be paid?
There are fees that are required to be paid either for certification of personnel, testing and certification of meters, electric meters, or inspection. They are available on Nemsa website. And I tell you, Nemsa has one of the cheapest, if not cheapest, in the country. Highly subsidized, highly subsidized.
And good thing about Nemsa process now is that any inspection you want to do, you can apply online. Everything is welcome. You apply online, you yourself, you input everything you want us to go and inspect. And when you do it, it will give you the cost implication to it. So, and I told you we are improving on our process and procedures every day. So when you want to carry out a certification of your project, just go online, apply, pick a close by inspectorate field office, and you'll be attended to. And if there's any issue, you can always raise escalation at every given time. If you check our website, details are there, emails are there, phone numbers are there that you can call at every given time.
Right. Any other questions? Any other hands up?
Yes, there's another hand up. I can see Mahmoud A. Abdullahi. Mahmoud, you can unmute your mic now.
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, Mahmoud, you can hear you. Go ahead and speak, please.
Yes, my name is Mahmoud Abdullahi, as you can see. My question is, how can a MEMSA help an existing engineers that already into solar? Like me now, I've already into solar for 6 or 7 years back. I have already had my training in Lagos under Ruby Tech Solar Energy Academy. So I've already have the certification for that, and also have a engineer.
Before they already answered here today that for some of you, and you just said now that you have experience and that you've been in before, you also have a current certificate as an engineer. That's good. So we will gather you all together at the RETTI Center, people like you. So please reach out to us after. There's a WhatsApp number. Nemsa has asked us to gather people like this, up to 60 of you. Once you can show experience that you've been working for a while, if you have a training certificate and you can show small experience, reach out so that we can gather you together and bring Nemsa. For those of you that have current, it's an oral interview they will do. So if you come to our center, they will do an oral interview for you that have, those of you that have engineering, current. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm still can I get the training here because I'm not in the country now. I'm currently in India doing my master's now. So can I get the training online, or is there any?
Are you the person that just asked the question, or is this another person?
Yes, I'm the one.
Okay, you're not in the country. When you come back, don't worry. When you come back, you now do all that. Yeah, don't worry about it for now. When you're in the country and you need it here. So the next person is Chidozie Ezeme. Please ask it quickly. Please unmute him. Chidozie Ezeme. Something.
Hello, can you hear me now? Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, so I just want to get clarification on the current certified engineers. So my question is, the current certified engineers who are exempted from the written exams, is it for just those that are certified under electrical engineering or every engineering discipline? That's the question.
It's a good question. Is it electrical engineers or both mechanical engineers, software engineering, civil engineering, building engineering?
Those who are electrical engineers.
Okay, electrical only. They said electrical engineers only that have a Bachelor of Engineering and has a current.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next person, quickly, please. ICT, please help us unmute.
There's no hand raised at the moment. There's no hand raised.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was on the chats. Are there any other questions? You guys will have a rare opportunity for you to ask the government face to face. RETTI is not going to have the answers by the time you call us, even though we will provide all the guidance and support from our knowledge. But you can ask the regulator now. Are there any other questions? What about YouTube? Those watching on YouTube, are there any other questions on YouTube?
No, there are no questions on YouTube.
Okay. So I will ask one. Somebody raised their hand. Ibrahim Danjuma. Please unmute him.
Yeah. Okay, just pardon. I just needed to ask one more question related to this examination. Is it possible for this examination to be conducted maybe via online platform?
Did you hear that? What did you say?
I heard the question. The answer is no. He wants to know if we do the exam online because of the practical components that are involved. So we only do physical exams. Perhaps maybe in the future, we don't know, but currently that is
things can change in the future. Yeah. Let me add one more thing before you close. Some questions came up from a lot of the younger people on the chats who have just finished training and have had small experience. They are saying, one of them said, can I just keep installing till I reach the 3 years? So let me just add that for those of you here like that, the Nemsa said you can be installing under a person, an engineer that has Nemsa certification. So RETTI is also working hard to provide internship opportunities for the guys who have done trainings with RETTI. We will provide you on-site activities. Again, our own goal is for you to be equipped technically so that you can install safe installations. This thing is not about getting certificate, it's about installing safe installations. That is the mandate of Nemsa. Our training and the on-site field opportunities we provide will give you that hands-on practice to install safe installations so that when you sit in front of Nemsa, you have a technical understanding and the safety aspect of it. So they are saying that to meet your 3 years, RETTI provides you that internship opportunity to be installing, taking pictures, recording that for Nemsa. You'll be documenting all these things under that certified engineer that RETTI has. So RETTI will provide that certified engineer. You'll be going to site with this person. Make sure that you are documenting your experiences. We wrote a WhatsApp chat for us to help you compile. See, you guys, you have to meet the experience. You have to demonstrate that you've been installing solar to be able to get the certification. So please reach out to RETTI for advice. Our advice is free of charge. We're not taking money for anything. We will provide you the guidance and support step by step on the live WhatsApp chat. We'll put it on the chat so that you can be ready. And when you go and sit in front of the regulator, you have everything. If you have questions, ask us on what kind of evidence do you need to provide? How do you need to demonstrate you have 3 years? We will help you with things like that. So I know that a lot of the younger trainees were the ones asking the questions. So we're going to provide all those types of support for you. I think we're probably close to the end of the session today. Any other last questions? I don't see anyone on the chat. Maybe I'll just leave the floor open for maybe one or two words from the Nemsa team before we finally close. And if I'm forgetting anything, team, please let me know. I think we need to take a picture as well.
It's okay. After now, we can still continue the engagement while my boss takes over.
Oh, okay. So, Engineer Momo, yeah.
Yes. Good afternoon once again. Yes. I want to say thank you for creating this opportunity, avenue for us to interact with prospective would-be installers in the industry. It's a good one. I think it's a welcome development. I think we'll look at taking it to a higher level for more interaction because I can see a lot of people have a lot of questions, a lot of misunderstandings. And then given the scape we have in part of the world, people prefer this communication rather than going to the website to get information themselves. So we always prefer that you go to the website, get all the information you require. If you don't have understanding or you have issues, ask. We have, if you go to we have interactive emails where you can send questions, WhatsApp where you can send those questions, and we attend to you easily so we can attend. Because we need to begin to educate more and more people so that they understand the importance of why we are trying to emphasize enforcement of technical standards and regulation. It's not because we want to push people out of the space that has been created. No, we want to make sure that the people in that space are actually competent enough so that by the time they do any installation, I mean, there's pride in after I finish my installation, 3 years later, my client calls me and says, I'm enjoying your installation. That pride is there, that yes, because that's where your recommendation comes from. And you can only get those recommendations when you understand the standards and regulations guiding technical installations of all these PVs and solar installations. So it all goes together. And so what we are trying to do is to assist the general public now, assist those who want to go into installations to say, come, let's work together. We'll give you that guidance. Yes, people like you are out there also, but we are the overall people to say, okay, you can come to us. If you have an understanding, we'll talk to you. We'll let you know what you need to do to occupy that space, what you need to do, how you need to occupy the space. But one thing people should understand that we will not compromise on standards. We will not and cannot compromise on standards, because any compromise on standards results in electrical fire, electrocution, electrical accidents. And these our sin is becoming very fatal, because people are dying, people are losing property, people are losing a lot of things because of this issue. And that's why we have said, no, this space must be regulated. Everybody must fall in line, must work according to the regulations, and must not only work, it must understand what they are doing. And we always say there are three questions everybody needs to understand. What do you do, how you do it, and why you do it? And so for you to occupy that space, you must know why do you do what you do. Once you understand that why, it becomes a burden on your conscience to do a bad construction work. And that's why we say standards are important, because the standard gives you that why you do that installation. I say thank you once again for everybody that is listening. Like my colleague said, it can still go on. Like as you can visit our website, you can ask more questions. We're always available to answer you. We're open and we're always ready to be at the service anytime you request. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much. Please don't leave, sir. Let's take a photo. ICT, please help us. I think you need to remove just the two of us from this screen, okay, just to have a small screenshot. Please, somebody has his hands up. Is your question very fast? Adewale at DBC. Can you please allow him to ask this one final question? Adewale at DBC. ICT, right, please. Unmute him.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, unmute yourself.
Okay, thanks for the time. I want to thank the RETTI team and the Nemsa team. I actually wanted to ask that they keep saying Nemsa website, but they've not actually mentioned it for us. And are we going to see?
I will write it on the chat.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Nemsa.org.ng.
Okay, I didn't notice. I was not following the chat. So they didn't tell us the website. And what?
Thank you.
Would they be responsive? Would they be responsive to all our questions when we come there, please? And how fast would these questions be? Thank you for the time.
No problem. You're welcome. Yes, we will be responsive. Our answers are real time. We answer questions real time once you bring on the platform. If you go to check out Twitter, WhatsApp, website, we have email also. What else? We're on social media, on LinkedIn. So please, any of the social media you ask questions, we'll answer you real time.
And once again, I also want to remind us, Nemsa is a one-stop shop for all your enforcement. So come in, you will join us. We will be able to attend to all issues around enforcement regarding standards and regulations, codes. We are always available at every given time. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. So please, can you turn on your videos? Let's take a photograph. Again, we are still advocating for a lot of young engineers without the years of experience. RETTI is training them and gathering them and qualifying them for the Nemsa exam. So we're still advocating that with the Nemsa. So I know that our conversations will continue. But thank you, Nemsa team, for your time and for being very considerate of these young people who are creating jobs and trying to be good parents, good fathers, do a good business. Thank you for considering them. And here and there we can see how you still made room for people with some of your responses. So we appreciate that. All right, ICT, please let us know when you're ready. Can you guys turn on your videos? Please turn on your videos. Turn on your videos just shortly for the photo. Can we do that now, please? Thank you.
Yeah, also sorry to add, while we're doing that, like I said, for more information, in Lagos, we have 2 offices in Lagos.
Yeah.
So one in Lagos, we have, so you're aware. So if you can visit any of our offices, any information you want, they also provide for you. So it doesn't mean that only Abuja can answer your questions. Our office in Lagos, our office in Lagos can also answer your questions when they arise. So feel free.
We have more than 2 offices in Lagos.
So they have one IFO on Lagos Island and another one on the mainland. So feel free to step in there.
We also have metering, national meter test station in Oshodi. We also have engineering and chemical lab in Ijora. So we have Nemsa is scattered across Lagos.
Yeah.
And we'll be available to attend to any of your issue at any given time.
ICT, please enable people to turn on their video. They say they cannot turn it on. But thank you to everyone for trusting RETTI enough to come. We had almost 500 people show interest here to come to this training. We don't have the capacity for them on this Zoom. So only 100. We had 100 here today. And on YouTube, we have 300 plus going back and forth, watching and things like that. So thank you guys for trusting RETTI. You can always reach out to RETTI to figure things out for you. We are conversing with Nemsa as well so that RETTI can host some of the exams. They have told us to gather you together, those that are qualified. Reach out to us. We'll help you do these things. The goal is for us to install safe installations. Oh, thank you all for turning on your videos. Thank you very much. So ICT, let us know if to say cheese and things like that. Okay, so do we have a shot, ICT?
Yeah, so say cheese.
Say cheese, smiles.
Say Nemsa.
Nemsa. All right, and for those of you with heavy faces, please don't worry so much. I mean, this is the reason why RETTI started doing this affair, because our guys were so worried, thinking that the government didn't want them to progress. So don't have the heavy faces. All you need to do is to find yourself under a Nemsa certified installer and build the skills. Give yourself 6 months, build the skills. Once you can show that you have some skill, reach out to RETTI. We'll put you together and invite Nemsa to do the exam. Because our guys, a lot of our installers were so worried. Nobody's trying to attack you. The government doesn't hate you. They don't want to stop your business, okay? So please, you just show that you have small experience. Reach out to RETTI on the chat. We'll help you put things together. Don't worry about it so much. This thing is really to be able to weed out fake and evil people that are causing problems. Most of you here are the good people that are doing good installations. That's why you came for the call, and that's why you're still here. So don't bother so much about it. That's why we're here to support you. Once you can prove that you understand technically those important engineering things they've said and that you have some experience to show for it, we'll help you compile everything and you have your certification. Okay, it's going to be all right. Thank you very much. I think that's all. Thank you very much once again for the Nemsa team on the call. We really appreciate your time. We will also compile the questions that have come on this session as well and send it to you.
No problem. We are always available at every given time.
Feel free to partner with us for other webinars. I mean, thankfully, people, the numbers scare us sometimes that show up. The goal is for people to learn where they can find the right information. And we can provide that platform for Nemsa, to support you get this information out to more people. And of course, we had other conversations going on. We're looking forward to engage further as well with Nemsa so that we can support all of these installers that are here today. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much. If you have more questions, send it on that WhatsApp chat. So we'll compile it again and send to Nemsa. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Follow us on social media. Bye, Nemsa. Thank you so much for the time and opportunity. Yes. We will be getting in touch with you for more, to send more questions to you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Sir?
We'll be expecting the questions.
Yeah, we will. So after this call, a team member will sit down and listen to the conversation again to pick all the questions. Then we will go to YouTube and do the same thing, pick all the questions. We had more numbers of people on YouTube.
Okay.
To pick the questions from there as well, so that we can compile it. We will answer some of that. We'll send them to you. You will answer it on your own platforms as well. Yeah. No, but we are looking forward to conclude our conversations with you, Nemsa team. So I will be reaching out as well for that, the Nemsa team. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. We're available anytime.
Yeah, I can see some RETTI people on the chat. Thank you for coming. I hope you're clear. You're clearer now. You're clarified. Yeah. All right. I think that's it. So it looks like some people don't want to go. Nemsa is no longer on the call. So Nemsa has left. So if some people still have more questions and confusions, again, like we said, RETTI is here to provide the compilation. Sometimes the problem is that people don't know exactly where to start. Where should I start? What should I put together? Should I bring pictures from my experience, from my installation 4 years ago? do I need to be a registered engineer? I know some people were not clarified about what they said around. This was the biggest question we had in the last webinar, where people were saying, I don't have a trained engineer. Nemsa is saying that as a company, if you want to apply for corporate certification, you have to have a trained engineer who also has category 1 certification before you can get your corporate certification. So it's like two things happening here. Before you can get certified as a solar company, you must show them that you have an engineer, trained engineer by degree, who has the Nemsa engineer certification. So that was many of our guys, men, they were confused about this one. They were so bothered about it. We also took it to Nemsa. We pleaded with Nemsa, because if the engineer leaves their company, the company loses the Nemsa certification. So we advocated that this one was not very fair. We told them that is there a way we can make it like 90 days so that the person can, but they were understanding. So that's the good thing about this particular government agency. They showed that they cared. They did show that they cared. They demonstrated that they cared. So that's what we're going to do moving forward. We're going to be putting all those types of things for them together. I'm so happy that they honored, our invitation, not just our invitation. They were the ones that wanted to answer the 22 questions. Those 22 questions came from our past webinar. 2 webinars we've done, 40 people attended the first one, 276 attended the second one. So it means that these are the real life questions that are bothering people. Do you understand? So it's one thing to ask AI or to generate questions from AI. What kind of questions like this? But this one is the real people like you that asked it. So they said, no, we have to come and answer them. We're very, very grateful to them. You can also see the way they made a loophole. There's a way they made it so it can be accommodating. For example, RETTI is going to put people together, those that are interested. To people say, but you need to show that you have some experience. If you don't have experience, come to RETTI training. After your training, RETTI provides the experience for 1 month. So we provide, so that this time around now with the Nemsa intention, we will now intentionally, do you understand, provide you that 1 month so that you can take pictures and document yourself. That's part of what you have to send to them. Do you understand? So that way, if we do it that way, we will now be able to compile these things for you, send to them. Do you understand? They said that we can put the 70 people together, 60 people together at the RETTI Center. So you don't now have to travel to so those of you on the mainland can go to their center on the mainland, or you can just come to RETTI. We'll bring them, they will administer the exam for 70 people at once. Yeah, if you're still confused, we'll help you, provide you guidance on the WhatsApp chat we shared. But if you want us to help you one-on-one, that one is not free. That's if you now want us to help you sit down, you assign an engineer. We'll assign many different engineers to sit down with you. You can come to the RETTI Center, or you can come for a Zoom call. We sit down to you one-on-one, and that person will do the work for you, like one-on-one, like this. That one is the one that is not free. But the WhatsApp chats will provide all the guidance that you need. Again, our goal, the reason why RETTI did this, we don't have any interest in anything. The interest that we have is for how it started was for our own guys who were bothered about this. Then it graduated to other installers in Nigeria, and there were so many. We were shocked by the number of people that wanted to know more. So now we've extended that, that capacity, that love, to other people as well. So write that WhatsApp number. We will take it from there. Tunde, you have your hands up. Do you have a question? Tunde Pila. Please allow him to unmute himself so that we can just take. Did you have a question or not? Your hands are down now. Okay. So if there's no more contributions or thoughts, I was willing to take more questions or contributions that you are afraid to say in front of Nemsa. So if you still have something you want to say now that they're not here, so that we can clarify for you, we've read the law 4 times. I've read all their variations. They updated 2015, 20 appearance in 2018. I've forgotten the particular law. Another appearance 2023 Electricity Act, and the final appearance on 22nd April 2020, an update. I've read all these law. We can answer any question. That's why we've dedicated that 247 WhatsApp chat to answer all the questions. Now, apart from what is in their law, they've used their mouth to make some room. I don't know if you guys noticed that. They've made some room. They've said you can acquire their 3 years experience if you can do that if you have a trained certificate, and you can do that under somebody that have the certification. RETTI provides that somebody that has the certification. You go to sites with the person and be documenting your experience. Okay? All right. If there's no other questions, I will end the call now. So over to you, Mr. Solomon, to take the final questions and end the call. Thank you. Engineer Solomon, are you on the call? You're on mute. ICT. Unmute people, please. Can you just unmute people? Maybe that was why they were not talking. Can you just unmute everybody, please? Unmute all. Mr. Samuel, are you there?
Yes, everybody can.
Engineer Solomon, are you on the call? Oh, you're on mute. ICT.
Yes, they can unmute themselves.
Mute people, please. Okay, so you guys are on mute. Tunde Simon, do you want to speak now? You had your hand up before.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And good afternoon. I want to personally thank you for this kind of program. It's very, very, very good. So this program is
Okay,
very, very good. But my own question is that what is if it comes to a way that you give a customer a good product, a good standard of product, so now a good design, and at the end of the day the customer was denying that the product you give is not original, or what you do for him or her is not satisfied by it, and he was trying to request for refund. So what can we do about that, ma? Thank you.
Wow, this question has nothing to do with the NEMSA certification, no? Were you trying to ask me about NEMSA certification? Or I think you're asking me about a business, something different. If you give a customer product and they say it's fake, what you should do. Is that the question you just asked?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think you need to, first of all, where did you get the product from? Is its product original truly? If it is, then you should be able to contact the customer service of the product. Because why is the customer saying it's fake? Do they have any proof? So contact the customer service of the company, the brand, or you can give that to the customer to verify that it's really original. I don't know if your question is that you don't know. Okay, you don't know what to do. What you can do is to prove that the products are not fake by contacting the customer service of the company, connecting that customer service to the client. Is that okay? Have you already sold this thing to the customer, or they are refusing to pay because it's fake? Which one is the situation?
Yes, they are refusing to pay because they thought that it is fake, which is not
So have you
fake.
proven to them that it is not fake?
Yes.
How did you prove to them that it's not fake?
Yeah, so I proved to them through the serial number and the barcode on the system. So I scanned it and I showed them. So I thought that maybe someone is confusing the client. So I don't know.
You've done the right thing. What you did is what you can do. So maybe the client does not want to really pay and they're just using that one as an excuse. You should just move on and find another customer. So that's like what I was trying to tell you to do. Contact the customer service or use that barcode. So maybe they don't want to continue and they're looking for that as a reason. But thank you for asking that.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Another question. Another question.
Is this related to the NEMSA certificate? This other question that you have?
Yes.
That's the questions that I'm taking. Okay, ask it, please.
Okay, so please, because I joined the program at the middle, then, and my question is that how can we get the certificate? Is it by examination or by other things? So I just want to know more about how to get the certificate. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
so for NEMSA certification on their website, you can go and register so that they can now look you and see if you qualify. NEMSA. Oh, somebody posted it on the chat, please. Let me see. Some people say on the chat, please feel free to repost it again for him, Miss Esther, nemsa.org.ng, but that's just it. I just said it, nemsa.org.ng. Go there, then choose, just search around on the website and find where you qualify. Category 1, Category 2, or corporate certification. Once you find the one that you're qualified in, click on it and upload their requirements. Upload your certification, your degree. Make sure you are in one of the courses they said. Chemical engineering, they had about 5 courses, then some courses on technology. Then if you meet all of that, then submit the form. Once you submit the form, they will now contact you for an exam. That's if you have met their qualifications. They'll go through everything. They'll see this person. Then you submit pictures of you on site to show that, document that you have been doing solar for like 3 years. They need to see 3 years experience. Then once you do that, they will then contact you to say, you qualify. Come for our exam, so they will tell you the dates. Then you will pay them the fee, exam fee. After you do that, you will now show up and do their exams. Once you're done with the exam, you wait for, I think, 3 weeks for the result to come out. When the result come out, you will now pay them the fee. Then they will send you a certificate after 30 days. After 30 days. So yes, that's how the process works. For RETTI though, you can come to RETTI. We're doing the same process, but they've said that if you have experience and you have a solar training possibly to show that you can respond to their technical questions, if you come to RETTI, we'll put you together. We'll organize you together for them. And they will come to RETTI and administer that exam. So you have the option. Just choose how you would do it. Our goal though as RETTI is to make these things easier for you guys. We're not bypassing any qualification. No. So please don't think that RETTI will not help you not to meet the qualification. We will help you by what they've mandated us to do. By that mandate they gave us, it means that once you can show some level of seriousness and that you have experience installing. And what else did they say? They said it on the call today. You guys just watch this video again. We're going to send all of you to see how they said it. But RETTI is going to compile the people who can demonstrate some experience to show that they have been installing solar and that you meet some of their requirements. We will put you together. If you don't meet the requirement, reach out to us. That's why we put the chat there. See, reach out to us so that we can understand how to prepare you. So for example, some people have 2 years experience. We asked Nemsa this. Some people have 2 years experience. They've been installing solar, but they don't have up to that 3 years. And they're not an engineer, but they are a technology. They have a course on technology. Nemsa said, yes, why not? You can apply. You can apply. So notice that those who don't have up to 3 years. So what we've understood from them is that if you can show that there's been some hands-on engagement in a good way, like if you can show your project, the things you've done somehow, and if RETTI can compile that for you in a way that it's easy to quickly see, they said we should organize people like that. But probably, I don't know if you try to go and do it on their website like this. I think that one you would have to show them everything that they require. I don't know if you guys are understanding me. I'm just repeating what they said on the call here. It's on the call here that they said it all, not something they told me privately. No, they didn't tell me anything privately. Okay, so that's it. Any other questions? Have to go now. Thank you all so much for your patience. The RETTI team will send you the...
I do have a question. Good afternoon.
Okay, speak up, please. Yes.
My name is Michael, and I really want to appreciate the organizers of this webinar. When the Nemsa engineer said about the Category 1 certification, he mentioned specifically that those that can be certified in Category 1, they must have degrees in engineering. What about those of us that have HND certificates in engineering? I wanted to raise my hand, but I was muted, so no way to ask me. This is my question. Thank you.
Did you say HND in engineering?
Yes.
Okay. Good question. Guys, like send that guide alongside the Zoom recording that we will send. Now, good question. HND have a category for category 2. Category 2, which is a technicians and craftsmen. So they are saying that if it's HND you have, go and register under technicians and craftsmen category 2. what you have to show for this category is WAEC certificate, NAPTEB. What was the other one? SSCE, NAPTEB from government technical schools, and HND. That's where they put. I don't know why they put HND there though. I think it's a little bit because I mean, oh no, OND. It's OND, not HND. Where is HND? I have to look at that guide and remember. But no, it's only Bachelor of Engineering that could go for category 1. Yeah, Bachelor of Engineering. Any course at all that has BN to it. So chemical engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering. These were the 5 engineering they said on the side. Software is not of it. They said engineering like this and technologies. Technologies, computer technology, engineering technology are the courses that they allowed. But I think it can go through because one of them said during our meeting, he just said it by mouth, so it's not captured. That's the thing now. They wrote there. If you see where they wrote it on their website, they wrote ETC. They now explain to us that the ETC covers other courses. That's what they said by mouth too, but that's not what was on their law. What's on the law policy itself is what will answer in court if anything happens and you go to court. But they said it that day, just the way they were gathered in the offices, as you could see when they did the call. They said that other technologies can actually apply. So I think HND can go under that if you can show other requirements. So if you do this through RETTI, then RETTI will be able to present it like that for you. But you can do, please, their websites have been written on the chat. We are not, go to the website and just see this thing I'm saying for yourself. But we're not saying that RETTI will now make it, oh, wow, hallelujah, Jesus has come every day, just easy peasy. You will still go through some things, but it will be coordinated, organized. You can call us and we will, do you understand? We will contact them. They will come to our school. We will now it has to be like us vouching for the person. We can do that for those that have done our training. Why? Because those that did our training have written an exam, so we can vouch for them. We have a lot of them that were worked out, so we're going to try and put them together for the 70 people, but we're extending that out to other people. If you haven't done our training, but you have the experience, still reach out. Let's not use that one and now say, oh, come and do our training. No, we're not like that. No. So please feel free to reach out. Once you can show that you have reach out, we will help you. But we have a preference for those that did our training, of course. We've been doing all these efforts at no cost. Do you understand? We don't have any partnership we don't have any special partnership with Nemsa. No, we just engaged them in a dialogue and they came to us, they answered. We didn't do it by connection or knowing someone at the back. No. That's how come I know this government is actually responsive a little bit. Maybe part of their interest is for more people, for safer installations, which is a good reason. Do you understand? So what they have allowed us to do is what I just said. If you can put people together for that experience, even though some people don't have up to 3 years, but they can show that they've done a training and that they can show proof of the experience, put them together for us. Do you understand? So we'll do that kind of thing, send to them. Then they'll say, oh, the exam can be this day or that day. This one now I said is not on their website. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they're not doing it only with RETTI. They have other partners. NAPTIN, he said it on the call. NAPTIN did that kind of thing for the people they trained. So that's also what we're trying to do. If you enroll for our training, after the training, we put those kind of people together and that's it. NAPTIN did it for the people they've trained. They have other partners in Abuja for the people, training institute as well that work with them, just like RETTI. So it's not only a RETTI thing. It's just that it's only RETTI that did this kind of big public event where we have nearly 500 people watching. So for young installers that are watching me on this call, many of the RETTI people are younger. So we've got you covered. We'll help you through this room they just made where they said RETTI put the people together. So that way you don't have to be subjected to their own. It will not be their own expert that will look and say, no, this person, did you just, with RETTI, with this plan, it will be that you've done some installations, you show us the pictures of some installations that you've done. We will now say, so and so person have these years of experience. So and so person, this years of experience, but see their picture when they're doing the work. This person also is technical. They've done training. Then they will look at it and either agree. They may say, oh, this person is we can't work with this one. But since you have the other people that are 70, 60, let's even just start with this one. The other people that they're too young, those people they're too young, we can. So they will do that by the time we compile. Do you understand? It doesn't mean automatically, but once we've had that mandate and RETTI's platform as well, they'll listen. I mean, we call them here today and they're here. You can see how excited they all look, smiling, laughing. They're excited to talk to people. They're excited to find out that people, that Nigerians are open to their policy, right? Because government is used to hate. That's the truth. Government is used to people hating on them because people hate government, thinking that government wants to give them, wants to finish their business. Do you understand? So they didn't know what to expect when they were coming on the call. I don't know if this is a first time for them. Yes, to face such a crowd and answer to their policy. It's a strong thing. Governments don't like doing that, except election time is when they usually do that kind of thing, right? So, but I'm so proud of this team at Nemsa for their willingness to answer to the people, and thank you all for being respectful as well on the call with your questions, and things like that. So we really appreciate that. Thank you very much again. I have to go now. And thanks to the RETTI team on the call for waiting for so long and, I'm waiting for this long, exactly 3 hours. All right, we'll have to close this call now. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye. Send us a message on the WhatsApp. Engineer Solomon, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, our host and our CEO, Ms. Gloria Gribu. That was quite an insightful section we had today. So on that note, we have come to the end of the webinar. To continue, you can always reach out to the RETTI admin, the WhatsApp, and then also follow us across all social media platforms. So thank you once again, and have a great day ahead. Bye.
RETTI team, did you remember to post our LinkedIn page? I don't think you remembered that on the chat during the call. No. Okay. Goodbye, guys. There's some people still on this call. It's like they're not even hearing that the call is over. Okay. ICT, thank you. Please end the call.